Tuesday to those who celebrate week 2, day 2 of the new year. 2024 is upon us, people.
Right?
And we welcome you back into the fold. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Time's flying by here.
No, dude, yeah. Week 2, are you kidding me? Pretty soon it's going to be week 3 and then potentially even week 4. Unreal.
Golly.
Didn't think we'd get here.
We got just over 50 of these left.
Came so far.
So fast.
And yeah, where does the time go?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Actually, I was kind of thinking that while I was watching Michigan last night dominate the Huskies. Where does time go? Well, what happens when you just run the ball over and over and over again? Games don't last so long.
Right.
You give the Washington Huskies only limited opportunities to get something done offensively, and they can't do a lot of damage. It's a little bit of keep away, and that's how Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines won their first national championship since 1997 when they were co-champs with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So that's the way the cookie crumbled last night. A big win for the Wolverines. I don't know if it was necessarily a big win for morality. Like there's that old saying, cheaters never prosper. Well, except when you're wearing the blue and the maize.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to work out for them. I was a little concerned right at the end of the game that Harbaugh dodged the Gatorade dump. Mm-hmm. But then I saw the interview afterwards. He was wet, so somebody got him.
Yeah, somebody got. Yeah, they'll chase you until they get you.
Good. Yeah. I mean, then hit him with a hose if you have to.
He's kind of an athlete. He's Jim Harbaugh. Even as he's aging, he's staying in good shape. He's staying lean. So I mean, but those are athletes out there. They will get you.
It was a mistake though on whoever was trying to pour it on him because they came at him from the front.
No, you can never
do that.
No. Then he can shove women and children in your way.
Oh, he totally did that. Yeah. There was other players that got dumped on as he was skating by. It was a dumb move.
Takeaways from the game. I know the Gatorade bath really distracted TD.
Stuck on it.
But anything that you guys saw, anything that you witnessed that really stuck with you?
Oh, good morning, boys. First of all, Travis, why are you still here? I think there was a lap that needed to be taken.
For real? I got to do a lap?
Jean Moran, he is beyond all this trigger finger BS and nonsense.
Is he? Because, I mean, his celebrations are literally shooting guns.
Whoa. I don't think we know that for sure.
No, I mean...
All right, sustained. It's okay.
Mock gun shooting out of the court.
That's not true. Maybe he was pointing to all of his friends. Like he's like, like I have so many friends in this arena.
Yeah, well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He kind of did the I'm holding the rifle move. Like that move.
You say rifle, I say French baguette. Like what is your problem?
You mean like he's displaying like a 6-foot party sub?
Yeah, he's saying, guys, look at this Italian hero that I got from the delicatessen, and he's just shaking it up and down because he's so excited.
Right.
Well, this is the newest crossover with Tommy Cutlets out there in New York. It's okay. But takeaways from last night's game. Washington could not stop any sort of run game. And so why do anything different if you're Michigan? They were able to just do whatever they wanted on the ground. And that's really that was the game. One phase of football led to Washington Huskies being not national champions.
Yeah, Fletch. I when I was watching it, I was really focused on Penix Jr. because that was the story for the Huskies the whole season. And he looked like he was unwinding during that game. He just never settled in. He was inaccurate with the football. And I think overall, he probably affected his draft stock. I don't know if it takes him out of actually, I know it doesn't take him out of the first round. I know this isn't going to be like one of those precipitous falls unless something awful happens at the combine or something awful happens in his personal life that affects his draftability. I don't see any of that happening outside of maybe medical. Now, this guy, he's had some significant injuries in his past, and you know how prudent these NFL teams are. They're going to have their doctors all over Penix Jr. So
he's had like 4 injuries in his college career that were significant.
I believe both knees and maybe more. I don't want to overspeak it because I don't have it in front of me, but he's had some. So there's concern in other places, not just what's happened on the field. Overall, what's happened on the field is great. I mean, he was a second place voter in the Heisman race. He played this entire season up until the finale like a guy who you would trust as a first round talent out of college football. But TD, he couldn't hit anybody. He had some wide open misses.
Yeah, and he also had some unfortunate drops. There was a few that were close enough on target that should have been caught and weren't. I was a little bummed out. I wanted it to be a little bit better of a game. It never really felt like that Washington was going to take it at all. Not to me, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there was a few moments where you went, well, if they could get this. Oh, it didn't happen. So, I just go back to Florida State where they're be so much different.
We'll never know. I also couldn't help but feeling really bad for Washington's running back, and I can't remember his name at the moment, but number 7, he was dealing with an injury.
Dylan Brooks.
Maybe.
I think that's his name.
But
Dylan
he was
Brooks.
dealing with an injury, and he was trying his hardest to stay on the field, and he kept going back out there somehow. But he was obviously in some serious pain, and you could tell that was what college football is all about, or at least it used to be all about, was fighting for every last second you could get on that field. And I thought it was really inspiring watching him continue to go out there and just hobble for 2 or 3 yards at a time.
Dylan Johnson. Dylan Brooks is
that's the NBA guy that said, "Don't poke the or I'll poke the bear."
I like to poke bears against LeBron in the playoffs, and then the Grizzlies. This was when he was still with the Grizzlies last year. The Grizzlies got their doors blown off by the Lakers.
But I couldn't help but get a little emotional watching him play last night because he was leaving it all out there, and he just obviously was not physically capable of doing anything. But he was trying his hardest. And props to the coaches for letting him to continue to go back out there because that was his call.
Well, what's interesting about going back out there, we've been talking about Jim Harbaugh and his NFL credentialing and will he or won't he stay. I don't know if we have an answer based off some of his answers to questions last night, but maybe we're a little bit closer. So immediately following the game, like always, ESPN, Scott Van Pelt does SportsCenter. I think he always does such a great job putting a bow on these big moments in sport. And he did a good job last night. He got an opportunity to talk to the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines after the first national championship since 1997. And here was an exchange that was kind of that was kind of talking about the near future for Jim Harbaugh and his football team. Give this a listen. Thinking about the spring in Ann Arbor. Does that give you any okay, well, he's projecting forward. He's already
he's giving himself an extra month to decide.
Whoa, Fletch, why do you come on.
I felt like that was very purposeful. Like he would definitely had that plan to say to kind of quiet some of this talk, or I guess to add some more speculation to it. That feels almost like a smokescreen to me.
Well,
he was very purposeful to say he will be out there in Michigan in the spring.
Because Scott Van Pelt's smart. He didn't want to drag him down the hole of hey, so everybody's talking about the NFL. He asked him just about, hey, so what's coming up in the very near future here for you? Mm-hmm. Open-ended question. You can take it wherever you want.
I'm probably going to go to Sonic, get some of them tots.
I'm going to do a drive-through order. Do they still come out to the car and roller skates?
Do they do that?
No, they used to. They still have the car hop a couple of places, where you place your order and then they go spot 3 and then you pull into it.
So you don't pull into the spot and order from the spot?
Or how? Well, I've been to it both ways. Sometimes where you order and then you go to a designated spot.
And sometimes I've been to a Sonic.
I love Sonic.
Why are you shaking your head?
Oh yeah, we got to get back.
We got off topic.
Jim Harbaugh.
Right. Oh yeah.
Who, by the way, when he goes to Sonic, he gets himself a Blue Raz slush. Dude,
come on now. Did you see they got this line of peanut butter and jelly stuff coming out? They have like peanut butter. It's like peanut butter and jelly shakes.
I like their hot dogs. Underrated hot dogs.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've drove up to the window. I'm like, I don't feel like a burger. And then I'm like, I don't feel like really fried food either. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like the angels sing. It's like the clouds part. It's like, oh, you look and you see a hot dog. I'm like, whoa, yes.
And I'll tell you the difference between the Wiener Schnitzel chili dog and the Sonic chili dog is Wiener Schnitzel just wraps it in paper.
Yeah.
Sonic comes in the boat.
So Jim Harbaugh is going to be crushing some Sonic, but then he's going to take a month off. Look, a lot of people are talking about this. What he's talking about is you need to give your players the appropriate amount of rest after they're done playing. So what he means is like, yeah, normally under normal circumstances, your season ends after a bowl game. Well, this time, since we played all the way through the national championship, we're going to push it back to February 14th because we are champs, right? You know, and look, love it or hate it, and there's a lot of people who hate it. Whatever transpired this season and over the past handful of years with Michigan and the sign stealing, however guilty they are of this, they are champs. And the NCAA can come in and try to vacate this title posthumously. They
probably will, by the way.
They could probably come in and take away some of the wins that Jim Harbaugh had as a Wolverines head coach if he's found guilty of these things, if the program's found guilty of these things. But we all watched with our eyes what happened. This team ran the table. They weren't beaten this season. They won the national championship. So there's a lot of people who say, well, it'll forever be stained. Well, they'll forever have that trophy in their building.
So Harbaugh was asked about it, and if this win is even sweeter because of everything they had to go through this year, and he actually wasn't asked about it. One of his players was, but Jim Harbaugh stepped in and said, can I actually take this one? And so this is what Jim said.
When I hear somebody say they're innocent a lot,
5 times, by the way.
That was the count 5.
Yeah. Either I think, well, they must be very innocent, or I immediately think that's about as guilty as you can sound.
Yeah, because he's in his mind, he's like, we just got away with this. Yeah, you know why? Because we were innocent.
And I love how he took the microphone from his players. Now he's shielding them from having to answer this tough question, and that's what a good head coach should do. But it just felt like he was going to say something profound. It was like, no. Over here. Let me handle this. Okay. We wake up in the morning and we just urinate innocence. Like we are American winning machines, innocent winning machines. And the pit crew did real good. I drove well. We hoist that trophy innocently. And so it went exactly how we thought it would go. We cheated, but we won. I mean, we were innocent and we won. Like it wasn't very carefully chosen. And I kind of said this about JJ McCarthy. Like, I know you get high on your own supply. This is a week ago now. This was leading up to the national championship game, and he was defending the program and all this stuff, the quarterback of the Michigan Wolverines. But TD, like when I listened to that last week and I listened to this week, I just think to myself, like, okay, yes, maybe you all believe that you're innocent. Maybe somebody knows you're not. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's somebody in the building that goes, yeah, I mean, well, that you think we're innocent because we didn't tell you what we're doing, but we friggin' cheated.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I just mean, like, in order to protect yourself, don't get cocky. Just
yep.
Divert all these questions like you've done the whole season, but
move past it.
Just motor on by.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, make that a non sequitur. I mean, it's nothing that's in your line of vision. It's in your rear view. I'll see you later.
Yeah. See you February on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. It's a mistake, by the way. That's a mistake. Well, what I got is Jim Harbaugh needs to slide that forward just one day to save a lot of heartache at his house. All his teammates there, his coaches, his staff, the players. You don't want to do this on Valentine's Day Okay. You want to make sure you have that day off.
No.
Don't go back to work on Valentine's Day.
I do think he said we usually start on Valentine's Day, and we're going to push it a month from that.
It's a month. Oh,
I think you're right. So
he's smart.
He is. That's right. He is pushing it a month. It's going to be mid-March, which, by the way, gives them an opportunity to watch the Aztecs in the tournament, which is
Good
great.
call. Good call. Yeah,
and the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I saw my first Masters commercial last night.
I cannot wait.
Masters actually
I can't wait because it makes me sad to think that football's going away.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we just watched the college football national championship.
Yeah, that did happen. Which I don't know if we ever said the score, but the Wolverines did beat the Huskies 34-13. Now we wait to see if Jim Harbaugh returns to the NFL. And speaking of the NFL, Black Monday did not prove to be as dark as most years. Only Ron Rivera out in Washington. He was the only one that was let go so far. But if you're keeping score, here are the current teams looking for a new head coach: the Falcons, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Chargers. And how about this one for a big blockbuster? Apparently, the Chargers have requested to interview Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, per NFL media.
He was on the staff in New England when I was there. Patrick Graham, great guy, bounced around the league.
Very Chargery hire.
It is a very Chargery.
It would be extraordinarily Chargery if Patrick Graham's the next head coach. Although I will say this, from just standpoint of a guy, like being a good guy, and I know that doesn't matter in terms of wins and losses, I really like him.
There's a lot of people out there that say Brandon Staley is a really good guy.
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Super
great guy.
Awesome personality.
And innocent. I don't know if that applies.
No NBA scores?
We wake up in the morning and we're innocent.
You want some NBA scores?
Oh, I do.
Let me set you up with some NBA bed music.
Yeah, give me some NBA bed music. Definitely. Make sure we have that on standby because this is a big deal. A big deal. There were 6 games last night. There it is. Okay. In the NBA, the Clippers, Stanford, the Suns. The Jazz stop here.
Hang on, wait, stop the music. They Stanford the Suns. That's how we're gonna start this.
That was a solid one. That was completely solid.
Continue.
The Jazz. Stanford the Suns. The Jazz stop here. The Bucks. The Pacers, Irish Chig, the Celtics.
Oh, God.
Not really Celtic. The Bulls, Hudson, the Hornets in overtime, 119-112. The Thunder, Waverly Place, the Wizards, 136-128.
Oh my God, you're gonna run a lap if you're not careful.
Got one more.
Waverly Place.
The Heat pocketed the Rockets, 120-130. I mean,
every day. It's like by about 20 minutes into the show, I have a headache every day.
Did you have a Wizards of Waverly Place reference?
I did, yeah.
Is that the teenage years of Selena Gomez?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
correct.
So,
you're welcome.
Sorry.
Yeah, that problem? What?
Sorry, not sorry.
That's right.
Speaking of NBA hoops, man, Jean Morant, Fletch mentioned it in his update. He goes down with a season-ending shoulder surgery.
Did you see what injury it was?
Subluxation of the right shoulder. Yeah. So basically what that means is at some point during a training session on Saturday, his shoulder popped out of the socket and popped back in, doing damage to the labrum, which is a ligament or a tendon inside shoulder. I've had both of mine repaired. It stinks. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 months with this.
Sleeping in an armchair.
Yeah. I've told the story. Yeah. When you get that type of shoulder surgery, the only comfortable place for most people to sleep is in like a lazy boy, like a recliner, because of the way, I don't know, they want you to kind of keep it away from.
Just look like a drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Especially with your arm in a sling, it looks like you're holding a beer while you're sleeping.
If you're really doing it right, you can rest the beer on your stomach without actually putting it on the coffee table next to you.
Not anymore.
That's solid. Yeah.
Not anymore.
That's tough. That's tough.
Not with SD fat loss.
That's right.
But I don't want to talk about fat loss. Not yet. But I want to talk about is Ben's prized picks.
Yeah. Love my prize picks.
Yeah.
I had one going last night. The game didn't go how I thought it was going to go. So unfortunately, that is not a winner, but I have won a lot on prize picks in the 5 weeks that I've been telling you about them. I'm up over $770. prizepicks.com/Fletch. Prizepicks.com/Fletch. You're going to get a first deposit match up to $100. It is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. Now I'm playing during basketball too. I was able to play during college football season. And I'll tell you where I have the most success is with fights in the MMA and the UFC. I'm able to pick my Prize Picks lineup. It's 2 or 6 players, stat projections, and I just watch the winnings roll in. It's really worked for me so far in this season. With the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball, or UFC and basketball, or college football and basketball. And it's all in the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections. So, like, say Travis Kelce at 10.5, or in terms of fantasy points, and then three pointers made for Steph Curry. You can do all of that together. And if you want to play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz and radio host Ben Fletcher, get on over to prizepicks.com today. Use promo code Fletch. You're going to get a first deposit match up to $100. Prizepicks.com/Fletch.
Coming up next, how do you save a meltdown? We send it out to Philadelphia. We talk about these Eagles heading into the postseason. That's next.
We got a bit of a meltdown happening in Philadelphia. How do you stop it? Well, we'll talk with Eitan Shander with the Eagles coming up next.
This update is presented by Cal Coast Credit Union. Michigan wins the college football national championship over Washington, 34-13 final score. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards both going over 100 yards rushing for the Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh gets his national championship. College hoops, Aztecs back in the top 25. They are ranked 19th in the country. They have San Jose State tonight on the road. Pre-game coverage gets going on San Diego Sports 760 at 7:30 with John Schaefer and myself. Tip-off will be at 8 o'clock. In the NBA, Clippers stay hot. They get a 138-111 win over the Suns. What'd you say? They Sanford the Suns?
That's correct, yes.
Not bad. And Grizzlies star John Morant, he suffered a shoulder injury in practice and will require season-ending surgery. Get a 4.78% APR auto loan at California Coast Credit Union with no payments for 90 days. Offer valid with Cal Coast car buying service discount. Interest accrues immediately. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit calcoastcu.org.
It's Big Rich, CD, and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760, and we do have another pair of tickets today to see Def Leppard and Journey out at Petco Park, August 30th. Tickets and info available at livenation.com, but if you want to win them, you keep it locked in right here. I think Sanford and Sons was a solid show.
Never seen it.
What? Come on. You didn't grow up in the time of these being
but I do like the
rerun. Yeah, it does make you want to make you want to groove. And also a very nice way to put the fact that the Suns lost.
They got their asses kicked. The Clippers have been hot, man. Have you noticed how freaking cold it is outside?
Yeah, it has been cold.
I know we're about to talk to Eitan from Philly, and he's not going to have any sympathy for us, but when that thermometer in my car reads 30s in the morning,
that's what I'm talking about.
Not a happy camper.
That's what I'm talking about. I know up in the North County, it has been very chilly, everything frosty in the morning. But yeah, you're right. Philadelphia, much, much colder. In fact, I don't even know if Philadelphia is a habitable place for humans. I don't know if we should even be there, but we will be talking with Eitan Shander here in just a bit because, look, one of the teams that has some issues right now because they did not finish the season on a high note is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is a team that obviously last year had a great run. This year, there was a lot of hope, a lot of potential there. People thought, here we go again. The Eagles maybe this could be a dynasty in the making. Jalen Hurts, by the way, a sensational quarterback. I mean, the guy is absolutely phenomenal. When you talk about elite quarterbacks, I do believe he's one of the elite quarterbacks. And hopefully, as time moves on, that continues because he's a great watch. He's fun to watch. He makes the game exciting, and that's what we tune in for. But you don't want to finish the season on a low note, and that's exactly what's happened over there in Philadelphia. And joining us right now, he's out on Fox in Philly. He writes for the Philly Voice, Eitan Shanders. Eitan, how you doing?
I'm well, guys. I'm well. Appreciate the time. It's good to be back, and I hear it's cold over there, but don't worry, it's colder here right now.
Yeah, we were complaining, man. Okay.
39 degrees. 39.
39.
Yeah.
It's basically the surface of the moon, Eitan.
I'm sorry, but nobody on that show who's played football at Penn State can complain about San Diego cold weather, right?
Well, he can. He's been here for a while now.
Yeah, my blood is thin. I used to be a polar bear, and now I'm a teddy bear. I can't stand it.
I love it.
What is it
out there in snow with no sleeves? I bet all greased up to go out there in Happy Valley, and here you are now.
Yeah, I'm always greased up in that Happy Valley.
You know what? It's weird. He still greases himself up just to do a radio show in San Diego.
Only understood in the Happy Valleys, though.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, buddy.
I love it.
Hey, so in general, what is your takeaway over the last, I don't know, month and a half of Philadelphia Eagles football? It's been weird, huh?
Yeah, how close is your guy to the dump button right now?
He's right there.
We got you.
Yeah.
So look, the reality is this is a tale of two halves of the season. And the worst thing you can do, I don't care if you played in the NFL or if you watch the NFL or if you're brand new to professional sports, how can anybody sell that ending the season the way in which the Philadelphia Eagles did was a positive? Well, we can turn to it. You have multiple options and opportunities to make decisions and just prep different or just take a step back and really change, not even massive change what you're doing, but just kind of change or at least self-scout a little bit. And instead, they blow a ridiculous lead to the Cardinals. And they follow it up with a game that I don't know, guys. Like, why did you play that game? What was the point of putting people out there and then leaving people out there? Why would you leave Jalen Hurts out there when you pulled all his made weapons? Why would you continue to start guys like A.J. Brown if you knew this was just a half, like a quasi preseason game? They wanted to go out there and win, and they realized, we didn't do enough, and we're right back to losing. So they pulled guys. They had the benefit of doing that the final week of the regular season. This is a disaster, guys. This is a major catastrophe to be 10-1 and dominating the NFL and now limping into the postseason.
Hey, Son, do you see a fix for it? Or, I mean, are the Eagles just done?
Can they hire Bill Belichick as like a special assistant? I mean, who's out there right now, right? I mean, they tried this before. I don't know. I don't know outside of really just taking a step back. And again, this is where I do think being in the locker room, and maybe it's covering, maybe it's just having conversations with former and current, but I think playing the game, I think really being on that side, it's not so much what Brandon Graham is saying recently today, which is, hey, you guys aren't in here. You don't know. Yeah, we do. Jay Brown has basically told us the feel and the vibe in the locker room. But the fix, the change, getting back to winning football games. But here's the problem. Here's the ultimate issue, which I don't think they can change. Guys, when they were winning games, they weren't great. They were losing the turnover battle. They were still struggling. Their defense was giving up massive amount of X plays. They were just so talented that they were overcoming coaching issues. They were overcoming their own mental mistakes. They were also taking advantage of the ebbs and flows of the regular season. So what is it that they're going to fix, I guess, would be my question to that, because even when they were playing great record-wise, they really weren't playing that well on the field.
And it's a good thing that the Philly sports fan is so rational and can take all this in and not have an overreaction to it, right? So, Eitan, I remember we had you on in the preseason, and you had just written this article, and it was a really good article about Jalen Hurts and how he came in as the culture savior of this program after all the Carson Wentz drama, after all the Doug Peterson drama. Is the feeling similar now about Jalen Hurts than it was going into this season?
So I don't think that it's similar, but I think that Jalen has earned a benefit of the doubt that is very difficult to earn in this city. And that's partly due, maybe largely due, to our irrational fan base here. But I think Jalen has come in and he has weathered a lot. He has done a lot. He has kept his head down. He's been a leader. He's also spoken up, and he's handled, as now that you see the quarterback, he's handled the spotlight as a loser on the team, as far as the team being a loser each week. So he's handled everything that's come to him. He hasn't walked away. He hasn't blown up. He's truly this even keel leader. So I think that we recognize Jalen Hurts as a young man that's not going anywhere. And I think a lot of us are happy about that. The fact that Jalen Hurts is fully entrenched as the quarterback of this team. And really, short of having another term to say, fellas, if anybody doesn't want Jalen Hurts as the Eagles quarterback moving forward, they're an idiot. And the reason is because he has shown he can elevate his skill set. He needs to evolve, but he's shown he can elevate. That's where it gets trouble. Brian Johnson is way too close to Jalen Hurts as an offensive coordinator because they know each other forever. There needs to be somebody who steps in and really comes down and educates and evolves the talent of Hurts. That's not happening right now. So I think fans recognize, hey, this guy gives us our best shot. That's okay. We've seen him play at a high level. Is it the same? I want to give Jalen a virtual hug after a game? Probably not, but that could change against Tampa.
Eitan Shander joining us this morning. You can find him on X at Shander Show. He works for Odd Shopper, all over television, Fox 29 Philly, also writes for the Philly Voice. Is Nick Sirianni safe?
No, he's not. The reason is because if they lose and bottom out in Tampa, this organization has shown that they can make quick decisions and that they can go for the flash. They removed Andy Reid. Now, granted, some of that due to time and all. You got Chip Kelly in. They removed Doug Peterson after just a couple of years of winning the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni made it to the Super Bowl, don't get me wrong, But if we talk about losing at Tampa, this is one of the worst collapses in the regular season that you've seen. Jalen Hurts hasn't lost the locker room, but there is massive concern right now that Nick Sirianni and really the coaching staff have lost the team. The biggest thing about getting it back is winning a football game, kind of reestablishing your message. But I mean, Rich, you have a guy or any coach, right? I don't care who it is, right? Old Rodney Harrison used to tell me a story about, like Bobby Ross or Barrett Brooks here in Philly. Some of these guys, they wear on you. And it's like, all right, man, we've heard the same thing over and over again. Nothing's changing. Like, I'm tired of it. And they block it out. Gabe Kapler here in Philadelphia. The Phillies were getting worked during a stretch, and he would just keep coming out. Oh, yeah, man, you're really support. It's like, stop saying that stuff. It's not working, and it tunes people out. Sirianni isn't there yet, guys, but you look back in hindsight at this year and the message and how nothing has changed, and he's really overseen defensive coordinator issues. Brian Johnson was his pick. So a lot of this is his dealings, and I think that Howie Roseman would look at this and say, could I, or I don't know, Belichick, or somebody with the name in, Jim Harbaugh, right? Like, that's where I see the Eagles actually making a move and firing Sirianni to bring in a big buzz name.
Hey, it's on trying to look for something positive here as you're looking at the slide at the end of the season. And if you look at these playoffs, the teams, the Niners, obviously they had the first round bye, but Cowboys, Packers, Lions, Rams, Bucks, Eagles come in at the 5 seed. They go up against the Bucks. Does it feel like that's the best draw for them?
Yes, absolutely. I actually just wrote about this for Odd Shopper because they wanted me to write, and I wrote it under protest, but I did believe it because otherwise I wouldn't put it to digital ink about how the Eagles could actually win and cash an 18-1 ticket. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen possible, this is the operative word, possible get-right playoff game, right? Like, how many times in the regular season say, oh, look at the schedule, that's a get-right game, that's a get-right game. Baker Mayfield is banged up. It depends on how hurt he is, but if he really is struggling, that pass defense is arguably as bad, if not worse, than the Eagles. All of a sudden, you win a football game on the road in the playoffs, and you start believing again. So I don't think this is a situation that we see often. It's very unique and very rare. But, yeah, I mean, this could light a switch. Remember, as bad as they look, they were still 10-1.
Eitan, it's been a weird finish to the season for a team that reached the Super Bowl last year. But yeah. I mean, you gotta believe that if a spark ignites in the postseason, there's potential that they could lead them right back to Providence. I don't know. There's something about Jalen Hurts. There's something about the Eagles, and maybe it's Jason Kelce that leads me to believe that something can happen in the postseason. But we'll see. Hey, Eitan, it's awesome as always to hear your voice. We'll do it again real soon.
Absolutely, guys. By the way, I love the Rams. Love the Rams. I got them at 66-1.
I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl this year.
Let's do it. I got them 66-1 to do it. I think they're down to 50, and they'll be even more when they whoop up on Detroit.
Yeah,
love
man.
It, fellas.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, there he goes. Eitan Shander, Shander Show on X. If you want to, he has the best stuff on the Philadelphia Eagles. Love having him on the show.
Oh, Rams to win the Super Bowl?
As soon as you said that, Fletcher's face.
Everything was going so well with that interview until he started talking about the Rams.
No,
I like the Rams too to beat Detroit.
Oh,
they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Here's what I love: Sean McVay against Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's
Kyle Shanahan's dominated that matchup.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, you just look what happened when Carson Wentz went out there this last meeting. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they couldn't handle Carson Wentz.
Man, they made them look foolish. Unbelievable. Anyways, all right, hey,
against Sam Darnold
coming up. Finally, the national media listened to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and they listened to our words, and they took action. They fixed the problem that has been long haunting us. We'll get to that on the other side, but first I want to talk to everybody about the ever-shrinking waistlines on this show. Big Rich, TD, and
problem
Fletch.
that long haunted us.
You're not quite... Dude, I mean...
Our weight was the AP poll.
The combined amount of mayonnaise that this show consumed was a real problem. But with SDFatLoss.com, we figured out, a new way to live our life, right? A way that was a little bit more health forward, I would argue.
Yeah, you don't have to argue much.
No. Yeah, you didn't have to change much either to get us to start losing some weight. Fletch is looking more and more like a deflating hairy balloon.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he just lifted up his shirt, and he is a Mediterranean. What would I say? I mean, he looks like a Greek god.
Yeah, he does.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, chiseled.
My gosh.
Good Lord, sculpted.
It's like somebody took a raw piece of marble and said, I'm going to start with the abs.
Can you imagine if I actually worked out?
Yeah. Don't you dare. Don't you dare ever.
Yeah.
I want you to forever look.
You don't have to.
I want you forever to look like a stick figure who somebody just draped like a furry blanket over. Awesome. All right. No, seriously. Fletch was weighing damn near 280 pounds, and he's down into the 230s. Okay? Think about that.
By the way,
nearly 280 down to the 230s.
It's insane. But he was out at Cabo. He was out at Cabo dancing around nearly naked at 280 pounds.
He was a big old boy.
Yeah, he was.
He was a big old boy.
big old bobber out there in the ocean.
So were we, though.
Oh, my gosh.
TD was over 280 pounds.
Yeah.
I was in the 300s. And we all got ourselves down. We got the weight under control with sdfatloss.com. If you've ever tried any of these like prescription medicines that are becoming more popular, doctors are starting to prescribe this. You know, some of these are diabetes medicines that they're using off label to help people with weight loss. And what's that's leading to is yo-yo dieting. It's this phenomenon when you lose a ton of weight really quickly and then you gain it all back really quickly. It's not good for your cardiovascular system. It can lead to a ton of problems later in life, or immediately. It really can have some bad effects. With sdfatloss.com, I don't look at it as weight loss or diet. I look at it as lifestyle. Our lifestyles have completely changed. It means that you're not going to you won't be forbidden from having another dessert the rest of your life. You're going to be able to enjoy yourself. You're going to be able to also lean on the help of Wayne and Chloe, your weight loss team. They've been invaluable for our success. I've dropped over 30 pounds. TD is in the same boat. Ben's nearing 50 pounds down. We've lost a tremendous amount of weight here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And it's all thanks to Wayne and Chloe at sdfatloss.com. So if you too want to lose weight, 858-665-3211, or as I mentioned, sdfatloss.com. The national media has listened to this very show, and they've corrected something that absolutely was an egregious offense and an attack on San Diego. Next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. This is a celebration. This is a correction, a redaction maybe by the pollsters across the nation. That's right. You're listening to Mark Wills 19-something. That's because
we love Mark Wills.
Because we love Mark Wills. And we always have, and people who listen to this show know that we love Mark Wills.
Yeah, absolutely. You're trans.
Stand on business. We are up on game.
Yeah. What's the other one?
We let all the naysayers know.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
You're
damn right.
I already forgot.
So the reason why we're playing this is because finally, the Aztecs are ranked. And they're not just ranked. The San Diego State men's hoops team, they are ranked in the top 20. Woo! They're 19-something.
Yeah, they're 19-something. Well, actually just 19.
Well, they're just 19. Yeah. But that's really cool because here's what I thought was going to happen. And I felt it in my plums. I thought that they were just going to sneak in at like 24 or maybe 22. And it was going to be like, yikes, sorry, we screwed it up. It was just a slight mishaps. We wanted to get this right. And so, no, they actually, maybe they even gave them a couple of slots higher. The people who,
it's like a makeup call.
Yeah, almost like a makeup call. Yeah.
We screwed this one up, so we'll get it better.
What helped the Aztecs out a lot, and unfortunately, it's not what they've done, even though they've won 3 straight games by more than 10 points, one of those being Nat Gonzaga. Big deals, all of them. But what helped them out a lot is teams in front of them losing. And so there's a lot of teams that vacated some spots in the top 25 that allowed the Aztecs to jump up as far as they did. But 19, I feel like, is about right. That's probably about where they belong, having watched a lot of college basketball this season.
No, dude. And by the way, nobody watches more college basketball than Fletch. Maybe in a second place, and it might be a distant one, John Schaefer. but I don't know if I've met anybody who is like watching NAIA action at like 10:30 at night, where I'll wake up and look at my phone at 4 a.m. and Ben's like, "Oh my God, I may be late tomorrow. Did you guys see what Hofstra did last night?" And I'll be like, "No, you sicko. I was sleeping. I was 10 toes up."
So here's what the deal is now.
And it's
San Diego State has a real opportunity this week because you have tonight, which should be a win, right? You go on the road to San Jose State. San Jose State's in the bottom half of the Mountain West. It should be a win.
Don't you bring that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I know. It should be. Then this weekend, you play against a really tough team at the Pit in New Mexico. New Mexico has beat a lot of teams this year, and it's at the Pit, which is one of the tougher places in the Mountain West to play, period, and national TV game. It's on Big CBS at 10 a.m. That is the window in which college basketball nerds like me love to watch college basketball. Saturday morning. It's when you turn the TV on. You are the game. So Saturday morning, 10 a.m., that is your chance to show the world and show all these people that don't watch your games normally, voters, that you belong in the top 19. I'd say in the top 15.
Quiet the naysayers.
That's right.
Let them all know.
Let all the naysayers know.
Yeah, let them all know. Now, look, if they did rank them at 22, it would have been easier to find a song because there's Taylor Swift song.
Oh, that's true.
22.
Yeah, that would have been a lot easier.
Are you not giving Mark Wills his credit?
Listen, I love me some Mark Wills.
And so does this show. And we mentioned that earlier, Travis.
Because Mark Wills is the business, and we stand on business.
We stand on business. We always have. Coming up later in the show, we're going to have your opportunity to win Def Leppard Journey tickets, Petco Park. They're coming this summer. Huge show. Tickets only available right here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Also, busy show in terms of guests. We got a lot of great ones coming up. But next hour, Stephanie Stradley, she writes for the Houston Chronicle. We're going to talk a little CJ Stroud with her and the Houston Texans in the postseason. Also, our morning monologues on the other side. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Small cards and a couple of Evel Knievel scars on my right arm.
It's hour 2 on Big Rich, TD and Fletch. This update presented by Progressive Insurance. In the national championship game last night in college football, Michigan won 34-13 over the Huskies. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards both go over 100 yards rushing for the Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh gets his national championship. Will he be back in Michigan? That's a good question. College hoops, Aztecs back in the top 25. They are at 19 right now. They get San Jose State tonight on the road. Pregame coverage begins at 7:30, tip-off at 8 o'clock. In the NBA, Clippers stay hot with a 138-111 win over the Suns. Grizzlies superstar Ja Morant suffers a shoulder injury in practice. He's going to require season-ending surgery. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Woo! Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. Busy show ahead. Stephanie Stradley is going to join the show. We're going to talk about the Houston Texans who won their division. And then we're going to have Mac Engel on the show later on. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys who won their division. And then we're going to talk to Dr. David Chow, who didn't win a division, but he's repaired a lot of ACLs around the NFL during his time as an orthopedic surgeon.
Can we confirm he didn't win a division?
Well, actually, we'll ask him.
Yeah,
With the Chargers, he was part of a team that maybe won an AFC West.
I believe you're correct. And we will dive in. We have a new injury out of the NBA. Unfortunately, Ja Morant is going to miss the season, so we'll get an update there from the doc.
Rich is never going to watch the NBA again.
I know. We didn't get to touch on that very much, but Ja Morant is a human highlight reel. Ja Morant, I think, is...
Dude, did you see his dunk over Wemby the other night?
It was sick. He is a sicko. He is such a good athlete. I mean, it's just he soars. He's the type of guy who jumps and then it looks like he can jump again in midair.
It's on a court full of people that don't look like people. Ja Morant looks like the most alien of them all.
It's wild. So anyways, unfortunately for the Memphis Grizzlies, after his suspension for getting in trouble, flashing guns on Instagram and social media, which sounds so ridiculous, but it happened more than once. He served his suspension. He came back. He looked amazing. But unfortunately, he is out for the season with a shoulder subluxation.
Well, it's not just unfortunate for the Grizzlies. It's unfortunate for the NBA because he is, like you said, fun to watch. I mean, he's the reason that people want to tune in to see that sort of athleticism out there. It's fun.
Coming up in just a little bit, we'll get back into Black Monday, which was mild, but there could be other job openings as the playoffs progress. And as some other owners take a look at what they have at head coach and start getting a little antsy. So we'll get to that. But first, let's hit our morning monologue. Hey, Fletch, real quick, could you get me that Jim Harbaugh sound ready? The one from the post-game press conference where he was talking about his innocence, right? So listen, I've been alive for 37 years now. And I've seen a couple of things and I've been a part of a couple of conversations. And I'm not saying everything I've done my entire life has been on the up and up, but I do know one thing. When I'm innocent, I don't sound like this. Yeah.
He says it 3 more times in the next 30 seconds.
Jim Harbaugh claiming his innocence by saying, we're innocent. And if there's one thing I know, we are definitely innocent. And look, because we knew we were innocent, because innocence is a virtue and we are virtuous and also innocent.
Also children, innocent.
That's right. Look, Jim, meet me at camera 1. You're not. I don't know if you went as far as everybody said you went, but you're not innocent. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody else in college football has their nose clean. I'm sure there were other teams videotaping sidelines and stealing signs and having members of their staff, or maybe some people were loosely involved with their football program going to opponents' games, upcoming opponents' games, to get some advanced scouting done. But this doesn't sound like an innocent person. Now, the Michigan Wolverines are going to take an extra month after this game. They're going to push back their start date to winter conditioning to March. And so this gives a lot of time, a lot of off-ramp for the Wolverines, the players, the coaches, and Jim Harbaugh specifically to potentially find a new job.
Mm-hmm.
He's hired Don Yee, who's Tom Brady's old agent, and he's going to be represented in conversations. And like I said, the NFL, they are not done. I think there's going to be a couple other openings. And I think if Jim Harbaugh throws his hat into the ring officially over the next couple of weeks, we could see Jim Harbaugh leave Michigan, enter the NFL, just like Pete Carroll did to avoid all the speculation of cheating at USC, and then resume his coaching career at the next level.
Wow. So are you now leaning on Harbaugh goes to the NFL?
I am starting to lean heavy,
but he's
that
innocent.
Harbaugh leaves. Oh no, he said he was innocent, and trust me, we believe you, Jim.
Any gut feeling on where Harbaugh ends up if he goes to the NFL?
So I've been thinking about this a lot. Let's talk about this on the other side of halftime. It's a playoff team. It's a playoff team. We'll talk about it on the other side of halftime. Who wants to go next on the morning monologue?
Okay, I'll go. Now, mine is a pick a path. Choose your own adventure. Which direction you guys want to go? You want to go with the meaning of life, or do you want me to give you the scoop?
I want the scoop because I love those Frito scoops with the salsa.
Okay.
I was thinking Baskin Robbins or boobs, so scoop.
Okay. This goes out to all the Rite Aid employees who are scooping that Thrifty ice cream.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the scoop. I need you to overfill that perfect theme park trash can lid cylindrical shaped ice cream vessel just a little bit. So when you jam it on top of that crunchy, golden, easy to hold cake cone, that it billows out just a little bit, resembling the blast cloud from a nuclear bomb, right where my fingers meet the cream. And I know that's more than the allotted single scoop that I paid for, but those are the line bites, the bites that you take while you're waiting in line to pay for your chocolate malted crunch. So, in fact, I don't even mind if you raise the price a couple nickels so I can pay for the line bites, but I need the line bites because the last time I was there, I didn't get the line bites.
A little skimpy.
A little skimpy.
Skimpy.
That's all I'm saying. It's like the baker's dozen. The reason there's 13 is because the king wanted to make sure that everybody got their allotted weight. So they were like, you know what? We know 12's a dozen, but we're going to kick it up to 13 just to make sure you get everything you need, and you can't skimp out on the line bites.
I really like the etymology there of Baker's Dozen. I like the whole purpose of this is to really fix a wrong.
Yeah.
Have it righted.
Yeah.
At Rite Aid.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How often do you go to Rite Aid?
A couple times a week. What?
It sounds like an evening visit. Okay, so up in Valley Center, this is what I picture.
We only have a Rite Aid. That's all we have.
Bing bong. Like the automatic doors open. Hey, Travis is here.
Like Norm from Cheers.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Hey, guys. Travis, you getting your milk? Yep, a quart of vitamin D. You got to get that old whole milk.
Yeah.
Well, no, we know. You do this every time.
Yeah.
We'll just get your Blue Raz ice cream ready at the front. What's your flavor, by the way?
I like chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip? Okay.
Like Thrifty chocolate chip.
By the way, that is
shocker.
That is the perfect answer because I mean you are ready for your senior citizen years. Like I don't know why everybody gets hopped up on this razzle dazzle. Now you got these kids with their mint chip. No. You just put a couple of chocolate chips in there, and that's all you need.
I'm telling you, the Thrifty ice cream chocolate chip is next level. And if you scoop it at home, just take a little bit of milk and just doop, right over the top,
Wow,
just a
interesting.
little tad
Okay,
of milk.
very good,
Get
very
that,
good.
get those icy shavings there.
Okay, morning
Yeah.
monologue accomplished. That's 2 out of 3. Fletch, bring us to Providence here.
Well, I wanted to start by saying how excited I am for this weekend of NFL games. I mean, think about what we got. We got Houston Browns, we got Kansas City Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay Bucks, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, Los Angeles Rams, Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers. And I'm so excited for these games. They're going to be awesome. And I'm not going to get to watch a single damn one of them.
What? Why?
Because my wife is a Disney adult. And my wife's birthday is coming up
Oh,
next week. And I love my
no.
wife.
You're going.
And January 17th is a sacred day, and that's next Wednesday. And for my wife's birthday, she wants to go to the happiest place on earth.
Jeez, that is unfortunate.
So on
Okay.
Saturday, we're packing up the Tacoma. Love that Tacoma.
Yeah.
And we're driving up to LA. We're going to spend the night on Saturday. We're going to spend all day on Sunday at Disneyland.
Okay, the only thing, this is the only way to remedy this situation. The only way to remedy this situation.
Body double.
You need to clone yourself.
We were on the same
Dude,
page.
I've done such a good
We're
job
on the same page.
of saying, oh, babe, just go with your nieces. You love those days at Disneyland with you and your 2 nieces.
Yeah.
I've done such a good job of that. This is you're going with me.
Are you a
Wow.
we get there right as it opens and we
Oh,
stay to the very end?
That's you're damn right, TD.
Okay.
We are there all day, and I'm gonna have a happy smile on my face.
Are you a Disneyland team or a California Adventure team?
Whatever she says.
Wow.
You know, at California Adventure, at least you could drink.
That is true.
Oh
That
wait,
is
that's
true,
right.
yeah.
At Disney, is there no place in the park?
There's
to
a
drink?
couple of them. You could drink at the Star Wars bar, which is actually pretty cool.
I love how he knows
Yeah,
exactly right.
exactly,
He's
yeah.
like, oh, trust me,
but they
you
don't open
can.
until 11.
You could get pretty bummed with Jabba the Hutt.
Because this isn't the first time I've had to do this on Super Wildcard Weekend, because her birthday is always January 17th.
Weird.
Every single
Wait
year.
a second, January 17th. That's Annie's birthday.
No, we did this last year.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We did. I don't remember.
I remember
this.
0 people's birthday.
I
I
remember
would
that
have to guess. Like, it would have to be the wildest guess for me to guess when you were born or when you were born. I mean,
TD's in May.
no, I think that was his conception date. I think that's when we figured out we backtracked 10
Yeah.
months from his birthday, and we're like,
You're in February?
It's Valentine's Day. I know that. Yeah.
oh yeah. I was like, wait, no, I'm not.
Are you in May?
I'm the Quattro de Mayo celebration YNA on vacation broadcast spectacular.
That's-
Happens every year.
All right, so you're May 4th. Okay, and then and then every year we have the same conversations. I'm like, May the 4th be with you. You were born on May 4th.
Yeah, Star Wars
course.
Day. Yeah.
And then Fletch, of course, was born in August.
Uh,
August 11th.
Not even close.
No, wait, hold on. When was his conception?
Oh no,
day?
no, no! I
He
believe
was conceived.
it was
I
like
went back to school.
no, it was conceived
No,
like
that
New
was my
Year's
parents.
New Year's Day. New Year's Day.
Was?
I remember we were talking about this. So I
No.
think he was born in October.
Wait, maybe he was conceived on your birthday.
Oh, maybe he was.
You guys are not even in the ballpark.
What?
Really?
When's your birthday?
I think back to school was right because I'm born in March.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Wait, no, that would have
So-
been summer. You would have been. Was 4th of July? Is that what we decided?
Oh yeah, 4th of July.
Where's the calendar?
Yeah, we got to get the calendar
Someone
back.
threw it away.
What?
Someone-
The conception
Yeah,
calendar?
they thought it was gross.
We're gonna do that math
Lame.
again. We're gonna buy a new calendar and we're gonna do that math again. That is lame and unfortunate. All right.
Also, lame and unfortunate. Kendall's listening right now.
oh
What?
boy.
What?
Oh boy.
Wow,
Listen,
you're getting
okay.
messages about, oh, you don't want to go?
So, okay, you could
With me?
spend a tremendous amount of money on CRISPR, have your genes edited or extracted, and create a new Ben Fletcher. Or here's another idea.
Mhm.
Okay,
You
gonna-
bring Annie and the kids so that I'm not the only one in
Okay.
hell.
no. What you do?
It's Annie's birthday
By
too.
hell, he meant he loves going on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
By hell, he meant, hey, everyone, I love love. Hell. Hell. Everyone, I love love. No, what you do is you take all the games, all of them, whatever streaming app you use or cable provider, you record all of them. And you swear your friend groups, that's us, to complete secrecy and
Yep.
silence.
Yep.
So then you can go back home and pretend like nothing that occurred over the weekend actually happened. Like you just act like Disneyland was a myth, like it was a distant memory of something that happened in the far past, and you just pretend you're sitting down for Super Wildcard Weekend.
But you're going to have to do it like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night because we are talking about it Monday morning.
Oh, good point.
So you're going to have to catch up
We're off
through
Monday.
the night. We're what?
We're off Monday.
Really?
You guys don't check your email?
No,
What?
never.
I can't even get into my email.
You know what? Honestly, what is that even?
But it's
don't-
I believe it's Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, great.
The 15th.
You dude, and
Wow.
I've always been a huge fan of celebrating that day by
1,000,000%.
observing
Yeah.
a day off.
Something happened last night on a football field in Houston. Actually, the same arena stadium that San Diego State was in the Final Four in. Kind of cool. But Michigan won the college football national championship over Washington. 34-13 final score. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, both going over 100 yards rushing for the Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh, he was smug, he was weird, and he was very Jim Harbaugh after the game. College hoops, Aztecs back in the top 25. Can I get a woot woot?
Woo woo!
They're at 19. I wanted to see if you guys would do that. Pre-game coverage tonight begins at 7:30. Tip-off at 8 o'clock. Late game tonight. Really early game on Saturday. They got that prime college basketball window on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Big CBS. In the NBA, Clippers stay hot. What did they do, TD? They Sanford the Suns 138-111.
That's correct.
Grizzlies star Ja Morant. He's going to miss the rest of the basketball season. He had the Tatis injury, the shoulder subluxation. That is a bummer for Grizzlies. That's a bummer for me because I really like watching Ja Morant.
Yeah, he is. He's awesome. All right, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you right here on San Diego Sports 760. We got a pair of Def Leppard and Journey tickets. They're playing Petco Park on August 30th. Tickets and info available at livenation.com. Keep listening for your chance to win. We're going to do this through the app. Now, this is the way we do it when we want to include our app listeners. We select a time, and then that time is when you call in. Don't call right now, but we're going to give you a time to call in. This way, everybody can be included in the party and win those tickets to Def Leppard and Journey. Also, if you aren't listening on the app, do so. Download the free iHeartRadio app, best place to listen to music and podcasts. And also, it helps us out. You stream us live on that app or you listen to the podcast within 24 hours of our show. Well, we get special extra bonuses, right?
Yeah.
So
if you
gold
want
stars.
Gold stars all around. Yeah, and speaking of which, follow, rate, review, do all that stuff when you follow us on the free iHeartRadio app. What do you got, man?
Well, just got a tweet from our buddy Jamar. I actually saw Jamar on Saturday. It was good to see him, man. He is looking buff. Like he was coming out of the San Diego State Rec Center.
Yeah.
Was wearing one of those tank top things, like a gym shirt.
Like one of those spaghetti string ones?
Dude was
A
jacked.
spaghetti string?
Yeah.
Is that a woman's top?
I don't
Dude,
think it was a spaghetti string,
Dude,
but
these dudes, these bodybuilders now, they wear, and it's to expose their nipples. They wear
Wait.
spaghetti string tank tops.
What?
Yeah, here, I'll show you. Hang on.
you haven't been to a gym in a while, TD. It gets
Body
weird in there now.
That is
Builder.
correct.
Clothing is limited.
I don't know if I've been inside of a gym.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's like you know what I always thought that was?
This one.
Yeah,
This guy.
I always thought that was like a normal tank top that they've washed too many times. That they've
No.
like stretched out.
That's
This
purposeful.
is extremely intentional.
Oh.
So Jamar said we need to know which is better, line bites for ice cream or bottom of the bag French fries.
Ooh.
Which that is an excellent red pill, blue pill that we can get to tomorrow.
Yeah,
maybe.
we are gonna have to put that on red. Pill, blue pill.
JB on Twitter also talking about how cold it is this morning. Look at his car in Chula Vista.
Yeah, a lot of
Wow.
frost.
His
on the
car is
windshield.
frozen.
It's
Yeah.
it's. I mean, you're gonna have to push that thing into the ocean.
You-
You'll never be able to use
It's
it again.
39 degrees outside. What are we doing here?
I say he just moves. Like
Yeah.
he just get somewhere warm quick.
It was 31 at my house.
Yeah, we were in the
31.
30s, 39.
That's below freezing.
That is below freezing.
If you
That's
left
unbelievable.
water outside, you could skate on it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Technically,
yeah. I mean, if I didn't weigh hardly anything.
you might be skating on thin ice like a lot of these head coaches around the National Football League. Black
That's how
Monday
it's done.
yesterday.
That's how it's done.
Black Monday yesterday. It was a mild Black Monday. So we saw Arthur Smith lose his job at midnight on the East Coast, right? We saw Ron Rivera, very expected, Washington Commanders head coach, or former Washington Commanders head coach. He lost his job. He was quickly replaced. I shouldn't say he was, but their front office was quickly filled with Bob Myers, who most recently was an NBA general manager. He was with the Golden State Warriors, won 4 championships with them. And then you had Rick Spielman come in, former general manager and really architect of some of the more modern winning with the Minnesota Vikings. He comes in and they're going to sort of lead up hiring around the office. I think workplace culture, because remember, Dan Snyder left a mess, a god-awful mess in Washington that Josh Harris, the new owner, has to clean up. And
it was a stinky mess too.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Mm-hmm.
He was not housebroken. So we have a lot of openings already. Carolina, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Washington. I'm missing one. Oh, Atlanta. But pretty soon here, there could be more. Pete Carroll's name has been thrown around a bunch.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Albert Breer has been talking about that for like a month now. He was talking about Pete Carroll and Mike Tomlin. I think the Mike Tomlin stuff has gone away because, well, the Steelers are in the playoffs again. But the Pete Carroll one's interesting, isn't it? Because Pete Carroll did come out yesterday and said, I plan on coaching here for a long, long time. He's like, it's not like I'm tired. I'm not worn down. I just need to get better. And so if it is going to be Pete Carroll out, that means it's the Seahawks' decision. It's not the mutual one that Albert Breer was hinting at a couple months ago.
So Dan Quinn, regardless of what people said about Atlanta, they were in much better shape when Dan Quinn was the head coach. And that guy had a lot of success there and lost important coordinators along the way, like Kyle Shanahan. He takes on the job as the head coach with the San Francisco 49ers. That had a huge effect on their offense.
Like, we forget Dan Quinn got Matt Ryan an MVP season and to a Super Bowl.
And also that defense was humming when he was in Atlanta. So you look at Dan Quinn, since becoming the defensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys, fix that mess. They were awful before he showed up. They've been much better since. And he's got deep ties in the city of Seattle. I believe he won 1 Super Bowl, but went to 2. I think he was there for the whole Legion of Boom time. So Dan Quinn, potential candidate there in Seattle. Bill Belichick's name coming up a lot, TD.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the biggest rumors, right? It's been weeks and weeks of Bill Belichick rumors. By the way, Bill Belichick tying an NFL record with that final loss of the season for most losses ever by a coach.
Yeah, you
But
coached
you
long
coached
enough.
for a long time.
Yeah, he's also getting close to eclipsing Don Shula, and I do think that's a record he wants in terms of most wins ever by a head coach.
Right. Well, I mean, look, he's coached a lot of games.
Coached a lot
Overrated.
Of games. You're a sick
Overrated
puppy.
as well.
Wild cards though. So we've had those openings, those 5 openings we talked about. Bill Belichick, that has been bandied about a lot. Pete Carroll's kind of one of those side burner ones that not a lot of people are aware of or talking about. Are there any other positions you could see being opened here now through the postseason or afterward?
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yeah. You brought it up earlier to Eitan Shander, and he didn't immediately dismiss it, which I thought he would. And Eitan's pretty tied in the city of Philadelphia on the sports scene. So, Rich, your idea that I thought was kind of out there and wacky, not bad.
I think the Eagles, it almost seems hotter there than it does in Seattle, in my personal opinion. I mean, because Philadelphia fans don't sit around and wait.
And neither does their owner, Laurie, neither does their general manager, Roseman. They got rid of Doug Peterson after having arguably the most success anybody had there in a long time. They got rid of Andy Reid. They're not afraid to move off of successful Super Bowl winning or Super Bowl contending head coaches. They've proven that in the past. And so I wouldn't be completely shocked if they fired Nick Sirianni, if this is a bad loss to Tampa Bay, especially the finish to this season, the feeling around the locker room. You've heard it from some of the guys in the locker room. I would feel bad for Nick Sirianni because, again, another guy who was on the coaching staff with me in San Diego when the Chargers were still here, and one of the all-time great guys coaching right now. And I think a really, really good coach, especially offensively, but he hasn't really recovered from losing Jonathan Gannon, his defensive coordinator, and his offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, who took on the Cardinals and the Colts head coaching gigs respectively this offseason. Another name I want to throw out there, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Yep.
Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. He's got a lot more yesterdays logged in this league than tomorrow's. And I kind of look at
Pack, go. Go, Pack. Go. If the Packers beat him, it has to be out there.
It has to be.
Oh, it's already out there. He's already, Jerry Jones already being asked about it, and he didn't do any favors to Mike McCarthy by saying, "Nah, we're not talking about that." He kind of left it open-ended, like, "Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens."
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, you don't win a Super Bowl? Yeah, probably. Go.
We're gonna throw caution to the wind here, dude. I'm just gonna say real quick. If there's one thing I like is Big Mac. I call him Mike McCarthy Big Mac. I like them with the special sauce. But I will say this:
a sesame seed buns.
You have too much Big Mac, all of a sudden you get tummy trouble.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Now watch this draft.
Here in Big D, we got some tummy troubles. All right, coming up next, we're going to be joined by Stephanie Stradley. She's a writer for the Houston Chronicle, covers the Texans. Want to talk about them winning that division. CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, unbelievable season in both of their rookie debuts as head coach and quarterback. But we were talking about Big Macs. You've really pushed those away recently, TD.
Yeah, I know. I have pushed them away. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. Maybe at first it was a little tough, but with SD Fat Loss, they helped me work through it. The coaches, the staff over there, they know what they're doing. And you know what? I will be completely honest. And I've been honest on the show. I've talked about it, where I was trying to get, one of these fat diets. I was trying to get a doctor to prescribe me one of these injection diets. And I'm happy I didn't, because what I don't want to do is the yo-yo diet. I don't want to lose a bunch of weight and then gain it all back and then some, because I've done that before. I've done the fat diets and they have helped me lose weight. But guess what? I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life before I started SD Fat Loss. And in 8 weeks' time, they helped me drop 31 pounds. And the beauty of it is they're helping me keep that off, and they can do the same thing for you. So they got the secret there. Healthy weight loss, real weight loss that is lasting weight loss. They can do the same for you, like they did for this entire show, where we lost him collectively. We're pushing 130 pounds now with Fletch here still on the reduction phase. And I think we're all jumping on that here. But go to sdfatloss.com. You're not going to have to exercise. You're not going to have to count points or calories or do any of those things that you go, I don't like that about the diet. You're going to eat real food and you're going to lose real weight. sdfatloss.com. Schedule your free consultation today. sdfatloss.com. The Houston Texans in the playoffs. We'll talk with Stephanie Stradley. She writes for the Houston Chronicle, coming up next.
This update is presented by Cal Coast Credit Union. Michigan wins the College Football National Championship over Washington, 34-13 final score. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, both going over 100 rushing yards for the Wolverines. College hoops, Aztecs back in the top 25. They're at 19. They got San Jose State tonight on the road. Pre-game coverage gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8. And in the NBA, Clippers stay hot, 138-111 win over the Suns. Ja Morant is going to miss the rest of the season with a shoulder injury. Get a 4.78% APR auto loan at California Coast Credit Union with their Cal Coast Car Buying Service discount. Details at calcoastcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Restrictions do apply.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. And you want to keep listening here because we do have a pair of tickets to go see Def Leppard and Journey at Petco Park August 30th. Tickets and info available at livenation.com or shortly here. We're going to give you the info on how you're going to win them here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
So the Houston Texans, what a season they had. If you look at the Houston Texans roster and where they were left after the 2022 season, heading into the 2022 offseason, heading into the 2023 draft, CJ Stroud taken second overall. He flunked the cognitive testing that apparently a lot of teams really trust in terms of processing on-field decision-making. So there was questions. There was speculation that maybe he would be a bust. He comes out for the Houston Texans this season in DeMeco Ryans' rookie debut as a head coach in this league and lights the league on fire. They start 0-2, and they've roared back from that, less than fortuitous start to become one of the hottest teams entering the postseason, which is a perfect segue to chat with Stephanie Stradley. She's a writer for the Houston Chronicle. She covers the Texans. And really, I don't know where to start, so I guess I'll start from the top. Stephanie, and welcome to the show. As always, love having you on. DeMeco Ryans, how has he done this?
It's amazing, and it's been amazing to see as it was happening. My first year writing at the Chronicle was DeMeco Ryans' first year as a rookie player. And it was obvious the kind of person he was from the get-go. Like, everybody kind of pegged him for being a feature coach. But as you know, the work involved with doing that is extraordinarily difficult. And that when he came to Houston, it was like a breath of fresh air, because you can have, football attracts amazing people, and you can have all sorts of amazing people in the building. But if you don't have the right mix of people together and the right leadership to make it happen from the head coaching position, you're just going to be spinning your wheels. And he just, he knows where the light switches are in the building and has just gone. And, him paired with Nick Caserio, the GM, is just such a great partnership because their strengths complement each other. They see football similarly, and then their weaknesses complement each other. Like, DeMeco Ryans needs somebody to help him get the people that he needs to have the urgency that a player knows. Like, as a former player, he knows that careers are short, and he had the urgency to get things going because nobody wants to play for a team that has no chance of winning. And so they not only took C.J. Stroud as the number 2 pick, but they took Will Anderson Jr. as the 3rd pick. And, that was panned by some, but, there's no sense having draft ammo and just sit on it when you need to be winning football teams. And so if you make the assessment that there's maybe 6 elite players in last year's draft and you get 2 of them at premium positions, that's a score. And they still have a first-round pick next year. And I think they're like 3rd in the league with available cap space. I mean, Houston is sitting pretty right now. And despite the storms we had last night for the national championship game, today is a beautiful day.
Yeah, no, definitely. But Stephanie, I'll be completely honest. Looking at the season, at the start of the season, I did not have a lot of expectations for Houston. I don't think a lot of people had a lot of expectations. I'm wondering what the feeling was out there in Houston. Were you guys thinking, this will be a good season, or was it, we're in a rebuilding year?
I think everybody had their own points of view based on the information they had. I have as my pinned tweet something I wrote in July, which was basically, I am standing on the table telling you to be prepared for something special this year, which that's not the kind of person I am when I'm writing things. I'm usually pretty like, hey, this could happen or that can happen. But I wrote like thousands of words to say not only why what they were putting together makes so much sense from a modern football perspective, but the reasons why. And a lot of it is, what is it that you want for a team? You want a GM that can, buy the groceries. You want a head coach who has a track record of success in schemes that are proven. And you want schemes on both sides of the ball that make sense, which they got, proven schemes. So it's not kind of, and then the first thing that DeMeco Ryans said at his introductory press conference was, I want to get a staff that develops players, because, you can say, oh, well, we need these young players to have time to develop, but people don't have time, and so one of the things in the modern world is how can you get these really great players to succeed in the quickest way possible? And I can tell you, when I wrote what I wrote in July, I could see how quickly they were improving just in OTAs, and just seeing CJ Stroud on the field and how he was just a ball delivery machine, and pairing that up with kind of the Shanahan Kubiak style, modernized for the modern world offense, you could just see what was possible. And even though they didn't have maybe the flashiest wide receivers out there, they had guys that had skill sets that you could see would fit for what they wanted to do. And for example, Nico Collins has had a huge breakout season. You could see that he had the potential, but now he's been put in a scheme that gives him opportunities, and he has a quarterback that can deliver the ball.
Steph, when you look at this playoff field, I think that one of the storylines going in is that it's incredibly likable. Some of the teams we have between the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, absolutely one of those teams. Unfortunately for the Texans, another one of those teams is the Cleveland Browns with Joe Flacco as their quarterback. When you look at this matchup, the Browns might be the hottest team in football coming into this postseason. What do you see here?
One of the things that I've had conversations with Browns folks with is just whoever wins this game is going to have to survive it, because these are two extraordinarily physical teams. The Browns may have, they have one of the best defenses in the league, and it's not going to be easy for either side. It's amazing what they've been doing, with their particular quarterback situation. And Flacco, the last time that he was in the building during the regular season matchup they had, put up some numbers on him. But, as we've seen in the NFL, sometimes it's really hard to beat a team twice. And the first time that these teams matched up, CJ Stroud was out with a concussion. And so this is a new ball game, and I'll be interested to see how loud NRG Stadium is. It's been a while since the Texans have had playoff football. It was 2019, but I've been to every home game that mattered for the Texans, over, 20 years. And that is about the loudest stadium I have ever experienced at its loudest. When J.J. Watt got a pick six against the Bengals in the playoffs, 2011, his rookie season, it literally shook the concrete under my feet. So this is going to be a game, and it'll be kind of a survival game, because I'll be interested to see what the injuries look like after the game is over.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing with the Patriots going down to that stadium. When you got a team in Houston, the fans show up. And let me tell you, you got a team in Houston right now. Stephanie Stradley, awesome chat there. You can find her on X at Steph Stradley, Houston Chronicle writer for a long time. Great coverage of the Texans, and also a lawyer. So if I don't know, you get into a little fender bender, or you need somebody representing you, she's passed the bar, so she can have your back in the courts as well. Hey, Stephanie, we love having you on. Thank you for your time this morning.
Anytime. It's always a pleasure.
There she goes, Stephanie Stradley. Okay, so listen, we mentioned it. Joe Flacco. He's showing up for the Browns. He came up off the couch. He's going to be in the postseason. You know how old he is? He's 38 years old. He's 38.
What should he be thinking about right now?
He should be thinking about testosterone replacement therapy with my doctor, Dr. Roy David, over at Golden Triangle Plastic Surgery, the Man Zone. Go to themanzone.com if you want to get your T levels checked like I did, like Joe Flacco should. He should
get out there napping on the sideline.
That's right. Yeah. Remember the primetime game where the Browns piled up like 35 points in the first half, and then the second half, he's napping on the bench.
He's got to get those T levels checked.
He's got to get those T levels up. Let me tell you something. Dr. Roy David, and this is no joke, a double board certified plastic surgeon, one of the biggest names in plastic surgery around San Diego. He's gotten involved in testosterone treatment for men because he's passionate about it. It's something that he realizes is kind of a scourge on society. Like, a lot of men are feeling funky. They're feeling low energy. They can't get into the gym and have the same sort of participation they used to as a younger man. And they can't understand why. Well, I'm telling you, it could be your testosterone levels, and it could be as quick a fix as just heading over to themanzone.com and getting your testosterone levels raised. So that's what I did. So I went over to the Man Zone, right? It's awesome. Discreet lobby. You walk in, you sit down, you wait for your appointment, and you get to watch ESPN on the big screen. They got a little bourbon, a couple of glasses over there. They got a beer fridge. You know, I mean, sometimes you want a little midday nipper. No big deal.
I feel like I just want to swing by.
Dude, yeah, actually, you should get your T levels checked. Dude, it's the best. So you walk in there, you take a quick test, you go home, you get your results. And for me, look, the range is from 300 to 1,000. I wasn't outside the average range, but I was in the 300s. I was in the low average range, and I wanted to boost those numbers, and I did. After 1 month of treatment with Dr. Roy David, I got my numbers up to somewhere way more satisfactory than they were, right? I'm nearing 1,000 now, and I'm feeling so much better. My body feels better when I wake up in the morning. I got a little bit more of a spring in my step. I'm chasing the old lady around, you know what I'm saying? No big deal. All right, but listen, I'm 37. Joe Flacco's 38. I'm going to refer him next time I talk to him. You got those guys in their 40s, in their 50s, their 60s. You know, it's time. It's time to do this for yourself. It's a very small commitment to make in terms of time. It really is the easiest thing you can do. Head over to themanzone.com. Okay, coming up next, he makes a headline every single week. But is it important for us to read them? That's on the other side. Well, that was Jimmy Kimmel on his show, going scorched earth on Aaron Rodgers. The monologue featured a defense of himself and also a complete destruction of Aaron Rodgers. For anybody who's catching up on this storyline, the reason why this is so hot right now is because last week when Aaron Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show, as he normally does on Tuesdays on that program, he mentioned, as we were waiting for the Epstein files to come out, that Jimmy Kimmel should be nervous about the list coming out, inferring that he might be on the list. He also mentioned that he might pop a bottle after the list comes out to celebrate whatever findings about Jimmy Kimmel are on said list. Again, another inference. He never stated those things, but that's what people gathered, including Jimmy Kimmel, who responded in a tweet, taking a clip of the Pat McAfee show. And then when he returned to his broadcast, absolutely eviscerated Aaron Rodgers for some part of 10 minutes. So that's the update. Now, Aaron Rodgers gave a little teaser during his final press conference with the New York Jets, and he said that he's going to have further comments on this beef when he appears on the Pat McAfee show today. So listen, Aaron Rodgers makes headlines all the time. Aaron Rodgers says a lot of stuff that gets people really, really bothered, right? Here's a little piece of advice to people. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's an amazing football player, and I am a person who can separate art from artist. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do hear from people who know him personally that he's a pretty good guy. He's a pretty good hang, and I've known a lot of guys who have played with him. I've never met him personally. I've had a couple of personal interactions and conversations with him. He's always been nice to me. I'm not going to go out of my way defending the guy for a lot of these things that he says, but I got to be honest with everybody. If you don't like him, or if you don't like anybody, don't give the flame the oxygen. Don't click the links. Don't like the tweets. Don't repost the Kimmel stuff either, because all it does is make him ever more famous. That's what he's looking to do. Aaron Rodgers likes the smoke. He likes the limelight. That's the reason why he's appearing on the biggest broadcast in sports on a weekly basis. So for everybody out there who is annoyed by Aaron Rodgers, all you're doing when you tweet about him, when you complain about him publicly, when you read the articles and you get mad at your cubicle at work, all you're doing is you're making him more famous. You're making him more money.
Yeah, I mean, do you believe that Aaron Rodgers really believed that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be on this Epstein list?
I don't suppose to know what he believes, but I do think this. I think he understands what gets clicks. And I think he understands that, or
I agree.
I think he also knows he doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel. So by making an inference and not flat out stating that Jimmy Kimmel's going to be on that list, he doesn't put himself in legal jeopardy. And he also gets a big buzzy headline like he likes to have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he checked all those boxes. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel clearly hates Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers hates Jimmy Kimmel. I say hates. Maybe that's too strong. Maybe they just really dislike each other. But I mean, he really struck a nerve with Jimmy Kimmel making this inference, and you are correct. He kind of danced around it. There was no direct jab or direct confirmation, whatever word I'm trying to look for there, saying that Jimmy Kimmel is going to be on this Epstein list because he is a pedophile. However, I guess I feel like Aaron Rodgers at this point should probably take his foot off the throttle. Just probably be like, hey, man, yeah, I didn't mean to strike a nerve. Look, we throw jabs at each other. Maybe I went too far with that one. I still think you're a jerk. But yep, sorry. I apologize, buddy. I knew you weren't on the list to begin with.
It's working out pretty nicely for both of them, don't you think?
I think so.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel now has one of the biggest tweets on Twitter, and he put out a tweet calling him Karen Rodgers, separate from the tweet that he put out in direct response to the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers now is going to have 1.5 million people watching the Pat McAfee show today. It's working out pretty nicely.
It works out for Pat McAfee as well.
Dude,
yes.
Yeah. Everybody involved in this. Again, not for a second, don't you forget that Jimmy Kimmel is looking at his Q rating. Jimmy Kimmel is looking how many tweets go viral, just like anybody else who's famous, just like anybody else who has conversations with producers and executives. And they're trying to mold themselves into the new era of how media is being absorbed in the social spaces. TikTok was nothing 5 years ago. It's everything now. It's an ever-changing landscape of attention, and it is an attention economy.
And let's not forget, they work for the same network.
100% also. This is a Disney ESPN beef right now. Or excuse me, ABC ESPN beef, both owned by Disney.
Right. Right.
So what I'm trying to tell anybody who is so fired up that they must repost, they must quote tweet, they must do whatever it is that you do on TikTok to get your comment on the post, whatever it is. I'm telling you right now, you are just fanning the flame.
Right.
This will continue. In fact, today I would almost guarantee that Aaron Rodgers doesn't back off, that Aaron Rodgers continues this beef.
There's another list. It's the Schmepstein list, and it's coming out tomorrow, and Jimmy Kimmel's ass is on it.
The Schmepstein.
It's also predictable. This happens all the time. Beef, just like we know from watching the WWE, and Vince McMahon, he's literally created a sports entertainment enterprise where we know that the outcomes are predetermined. We know that when somebody wins a Royal Rumble, it's written on a piece of paper before they even get to the mat. But we still watch, and the reason why, or I should say millions of people watch every single year, and the reason why is because beef is interesting. So that's what they're doing
Let's
here.
start beefing, boys.
Let's start beefing. Look, people want to watch a fight. It's like you're out at the playground, on the schoolyard. There's a fight that breaks out. Everybody gathers around. Everybody wants to watch it. I
Absolutely.
mean, so
I will hold
know what
earrings
they're
all
doing.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
By
you
the
know
way,
what?
TD, your NBA scores are stupid. I think they're dumb.
No, we're not going to beef with each other. No, not us.
I was gonna fly over this desk like that dude in court.
We're doing it wrong. We like. How about this? I think Jimmy Kimmel's on another list. Damn it!
What?
So we need to beef with someone else.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like the naughty list, like Santa Claus. Only 349 shopping days left till Christmas.
I think Aaron Rodgers has 3 A's on his.
How about this one?
Triple A.
I think
Triple A.
Eddie Papani is bad at fantasy football.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, let's
He'll
do that.
actually take that personally.
No, yeah. We should attack. We should attack other
His
shows.
not make the
calves
playoffs.
are little and ugly.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy football, you know what I love about fantasy football is that every single game, I got some skin in the game. I usually got a player or two happening, and that's what's fun. You get a little skin in the game. And that's where DraftKings come in. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, just dropped a brand new way to play fantasy football with Pick Six. And new customers can make their first NFL picks and get $100 back in Pick Six credits if they don't win. It's easy to do. Just download the new DraftKings Pick Six app now. Sign up with code SD760. Now, new customers, you can get up to $100 back in Pick Six credits if your first football pick set doesn't win. Only on DraftKings. Pick Six with code SD760. And I'm putting together my team right now. Patrick Mahomes, more or less than 263.5 passing yards. I think I'm going to go less on this. Joe Flacco, more or less than 260.5 passing yards. I'm going more because Joe Flacco is elite. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer. First qualifying pick set winnings, less entry fees, must generate negative numbers. Max reward up to $100 equal to amount of negative number issued in non-withdrawable Pick Six credits. Valid for Pick Six use only. Expire after 1 year. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Valid only in states where DraftKings Pick Six operates. Void where prohibited. See terms at picksix.draftkings.com. day around this time, the studio here gets maybe a foul odor.
Yes.
Okay. And then we discovered, yeah. It's got that sort of a stench. And we noticed, what's weird? There's a weird like pipe just poking into the studio here up in the ceiling that looks to be like some sort of sewer drainage pipe. So are we getting some kind of smell from the sewer?
Can I guess what you're going to say next before you say it?
Sure, because I don't think you're going to get it.
Okay, I think that you went to like the county and got the blueprints of this building and have figured out that is in fact a drainage pipe from upstairs.
I will do that later today. But
if anyone knows how,
what
it's TD.
What my concern is right
let
now.
Me guess, let me guess. Okay, one more guess.
Okay.
You're worried about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like if
that is also a valid point.
Like if we have another pizza day in here, like will we be visited by teenagers who are also turtles but also mutants?
That makes me want to get pizzas just to see if we can bait them in here.
Oh my gosh, we'll leave the cameras rolling.
Yeah,
we'll just put them in. Okay, yeah. Okay, so
my concern is right now it smells like pancakes to me.
Ooh.
And
that's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's not a bad smell of pancakes. Is all I'm saying.
I will say, okay, this. I don't even want to say this. It's even making my stomach turn.
Maybe don't.
Nah, I'm gonna go for it. Okay,
yeah, go.
Let me ask this question.
Yeah,
has anybody ever, at one point or another, left the restroom and going, I'm gonna be honest with you, like that smelled like straight up food. That smelled like cooking. That smelled like somebody was just cooking a delicious meal as opposed to something awful happened, like normal. I'm not saying this is like an everyday or even every month.
No. That's a special occasion.
This is like maybe once every half year, so it's maybe a biannual.
Maybe it's going on the best bracket ever. Do you guys remember the day we went to get Korean barbecue?
I do remember.
Yeah. And the three of us sat down, had an excellent meal.
Yeah.
That day.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, okay. So listen to me. I'm not saying it's an everyday thing, but sometimes there's meals that when you rehash those meals, you're like, okay, wow. So nothing was digested. That's what just happened.
It's Korean barbecue in.
Yeah.
Korean barbecue out.
We're in the same spot.
So,
okay.
So right, this particular individual.
I'm getting it's happening. My mouth is watering.
He had a whole mess of pancakes.
Stack of pancakes. Either that or they're jamming pancakes down the toilet right now.
All right, enough.
Or someone's making pancakes in the kitchen.
Or that could be.
No more ors. Okay. Coming up in just a few minutes, Doc David Chow, SixScore.com is where to find him. Sports Injury Central is where you'll find him. You'll get all of your injury updates heading into the NFL postseason. We'll chat with the doc in a few minutes here. Maybe we'll ask him a question about all this.
Yeah, because I'm not getting any syrup.
Oh, God.
It's just like pancakes only.
Just flapjacks. Yeah. Also, we have that pair of tickets to see Def Leppard and Journey at Petco Park, August 30th show. Tickets and info available at livenation.com. This is the only place to win them. Keep listening to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch for your chance to win. We're going to give out a special time to call. We're not going to do it right now, and don't call right now. But for our app listeners on the free iHeartRadio app, we want to give you an opportunity to win those. And if you haven't downloaded yet the free iHeartRadio app, you should. Best place to listen to music and podcasts, including ours. Listen within 24 hours. We get extra special credit.
In HD.
In HD. Our voices have never sounded better. Like, review, subscribe, all those things on the free iHeartRadio app. We'll be your best friends and share a link with a friend. Okay. We do it every single Tuesday. We never miss.
No.
It's Four Corners. We take the best stories. Let's kick this party off, TD. What do you got for us?
You know what? I know that we're getting worn out of Taylor Swift here and Travis Kelce, but this is a pretty good one. The Taylor Swift effect, very real, right?
Very much so.
Travis Kelce making a grip of cash just because of his relationship with Taylor Swift.
Worried about overexposure now.
Right. Yeah. Too much. Well, guess what? Taylor Swift effect also works on her cat because Forbes has evaluated the worth of Taylor Swift's cat, and they think that cat is worth just around $97 million.
Okay. Slow down. What, is it because it's a special breed? Is it like on the verge of extinction?
Oh, well, it is a special breed. It is a Scottish old kitty cat. I don't know if it's on the verge of extinction. Now, if I were to purchase one of these cats, I may spend a couple $1,000s for a purebred cat. But
no money on a cat.
Yeah,
you just find
it's true. Yeah, it's like dog people are like, oh my gosh, this is this purebred, whatever, blah blah blah, and then cat people are like, look at this cat I found in the garbage can.
I found the whole litter. There were 9 of them. Yeah, and one of them was scratching me, so I named him Scratchy.
I swear to God, growing up, it said we had cats all the time. We didn't buy any of them. They just showed up.
Well, Taylor Swift cat, it would cost you $97 million if you wanted him. He looks like this. He's a fat little kitty.
That's an ugly cat.
That's a cool cat.
That's an ugly cat.
That cat, it was going to be Garfield. The way it's sitting right now,
1,000,000%.
with like a polo
I
lasagna.
think that's a good looking cat.
So we don't have the link in the rundown for this one, but it is a story that's been going viral, especially on the TikTok. Did you see what happened in Miami over the weekend?
Yeah. So 10-foot aliens apparently invaded a popular Miami area mall, and then the police chief in Miami,
hundreds of police cars.
He came out on TikTok because there was so much speculation around an alien invasion that he actually had to calm the masses by putting a TikTok, a Twitter post, an Instagram reel out where he goes, "Listen, gang, there were no aliens. We had about 30 or so delinquent teenagers firing fireworks at each other in the mall. So we had basically one of these codes where every single officer in the city reports to the location where the code is sent out from."
Much like Jim Harbaugh, I don't believe you, sir. Like, kids popping off fireworks, 1,000 police cars.
Wait, hang on. More likely the 10-foot aliens?
I'll tell you, there are source reports from people on the ground saying they saw 10-foot aliens.
10 1-foot aliens or 1 10-foot alien?
I believe it was multiple 8 to 10-foot aliens.
Which, by the way, I mean, that could have just been like the heat. Like the
I'm also thinking maybe just John Fink in Miami.
Red pill, blue pill. Would you rather have red pill, 1 10-foot alien that you have to fight, or blue pill, 10 1-foot aliens?
100% 1 10-foot alien, and I'll tell you why. Your only hope is that somehow the size it creates like a little bit of a slow reaction time. I feel, because also think of it this way, I would also rather fight a gorilla 1 than like 10 chimps, because really chimps have superhuman strength
And dead either way.
Oh, dude. But maybe I could find like, for example, 10. I'm not convincing 10, but maybe I could find some common ground with 1 gorilla. Like maybe if I started all of a sudden singing Marvin Gaye to him,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
let's get it on.
Then you got a whole new set of hits.
Yeah,
Get it
you're
on.
making promises. I mean, you gotta catch that check.
That gorilla's going to take that promise whether you let him or not.
Maybe I would stay away from like Al Green, Marvin Gaye. Maybe I would steer more towards like Beyonce
Nickelback.
or Nickelback. Yeah. Look at this beautiful house. Either way, the point is,
Bring that damn gorilla to tears.
do you guys know? Okay, this is the next story up on 4 Corners. Did you know that Costco's bakery item, the new one for 2024, tastes homemade, and it is already tempting memories just straight from their diet? That's right. That's right. Right when you've made your New Year's resolution to take a couple lbs off, Costco fires back with banana bread.
Oh God!
Banana bread?
Banana
And
bread.
pork? Hell yeah! You see that video?
So Costco fans are going bananas. The new
Hell
banana
yeah.
loaf has been added to its famous bakery section. The 2-pound loaf of banana bread is topped with walnuts. It's only $7 for 2 pounds of
Walnuts
banana.
out of there. Put chocolate chips in.
Oh, no, I love walnuts on banana.
No,
Walnuts, you pump your brakes, you know.
Chocolate chip banana bread is
Costco with their small part of life.
yes.
it's like the best banana bread you'll ever eat.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, Laura Lamb. I actually followed this lady on Instagram. She has a page called Costco Hot Finds. She shared a video of the new food item this weekend. And look, here's the picture.
Yeah, it looks perfect.
They're also getting rid of the churro, right? And bringing in a new chocolate chip cookie. That does look good.
Sad.
I mean, unless it's a really good chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, but like 2-foot churro.
Yeah, but Costco don't miss.
Costco
That's what I'm
don't-
saying.
Costco don't miss.
Much like 7-Eleven.
Okay, well, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical because I feel like my chocolate chip cookies, in order to make the perfect chocolate chip cookies, need half the amount of chocolate chips where I feel like stores and prepackaged chocolate chip cookies, they always want to go more on
I don't
chocolate.
know. The Vaughn's like weird plastic that always cuts you. You know those chocolate chip cookies?
Clamshell.
Some of the best chocolate chip cookies ever.
I will say this. I am a fan of chocolate chip cookies, but I like to taste actual cookies. Right? Like, so I think less is more in a lot of cases. Now, there are occasions where you have a crummy batch where you're like, they should have put more chocolate chips on this because this cookie is no good.
Well, yeah, okay, but if you're making chocolate chip cookies at home, I'm telling you, it's a better chocolate chip cookie without any chocolate chips than it is with too many chocolate chips.
Hang on, I've been known to make the first batch without, and then make the rest with. I've been known to do this. I'm not completely disagreeing. It changes the whole experience. Look, it's very controversial.
Chocolate is the best part of a chocolate chip.
Let's move on.
Chocolate chip.
Let's move on to something less controversial. Trevor Bauer said Trevor Bauer is way less controversial than Trevor Bauer says that he's no longer going to engage in quote unquote rough sex acts.
Trevor, please hire me, MLB team.
As he's aiming to get his MLB career back on track after being accused of sexual assault.
I promise you, I won't do it.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
So anybody who's read some of the transcripts that have gone viral regarding this allegation of sexual assault against Trevor Bauer, they are wild. Okay. Yeah. Now he has admitted to enjoying.
We talk about the food and the smell again.
Hang on. To put it mildly, the gentleman likes to engage in some things that not a lot of people engage in the bedroom. So as a result, there's a lot of people. I should say, not even people. I don't think he cares about the fans. There's a lot of executives in Major League Baseball who's like, yeah, okay, so Trevor, maybe we'll avoid this allegation. But when's the next one, especially if you're doing this on the reg, like you were talking about?
He's not going to do it anymore. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with that fight. I'm quitting smoking. I'm done.
I guess that's true. Some people do quit smoking. That's really tough.
Right. So, now, do you think he's going to quit cold turkey here? Or, like, does he have to ease off?
Mean his way off?
Okay, easy.
Easy on the,
yeah. Travis Hill yesterday brought up.
Is a word that means to slowly.
What that word means. Okay. Travis Hill in his morning monologue yesterday brought up the water crisis that is striking young Americans.
Yes, that's correct.
You want to rehash the bullet points?
Yeah, look, I mean, when we were growing up, we didn't carry around bottles of water. Okay?
Right.
We didn't need a canteen everywhere we went. And stuff. Yeah, and then here we go, Fletch drinking out of this basic beanie Stanley Cup as we have. We both have Yetis as well.
We're just as guilty.
Yeah. However, it turns out these bottles of water not that great, right, Fletch?
Which one? Are the plastic bottles of water bad for you, or are these bottles bad for you? I never know.
Plastic bottles apparently not good for you.
They got a crap load of cancer-causing nanoplastics.
Okay, check this out. So,
crap load means 240,000.
I'm going to pass along a fact that I have no idea is true or not. So I don't know if this fact is live. I want everybody to look this up independently from what you're hearing on the show, because I have no idea if what I'm about to share is actually true. But I remember listening to a podcast where they were talking about the amount of nanoplastics, which are tiny microscopic particles of plastic that we take in every single week, month, year.
Right.
And apparently every single year we have digested a credit card's amount of nanoplastic.
Nice. We should ask Doc Chow how those credit card, like, does it form into a credit card and can it exit the body?
Perfect timing.
Doc Chow's here.
Dr. David Chow. He is an orthopedic surgeon, worked many, many years in the NFL, specifically here in San Diego with the Chargers as a team MD. Also now is the proud owner operator of SICScore.com. That's SICScore.com, Sports Injury Central, where you could get updated on all of your sports injury news. And it's really important for fantasy football players and sports bettors to get those updates. Doc, how you doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing great. If you have a credit card question, I could refer you to my wife.
Well, Yeah, listen, yeah, I got one too. If somehow I was able to produce a new credit card every single year just based on the nanoplastics I consumed, she would be very, very happy.
Right.
Hey,
Banking on the fact that she doesn't listen to sports talk radio, or her friends aren't going to tell her that I just said that. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of walking the fine line edge here.
Yeah, that's a dicey place to be, Doc.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Speaking of dicing, you got Jean Morant. He's about to go under the knife. Unfortunately, there was a Saturday practice or training session where he injured his shoulder, a subluxation. It led to labral damage. This is going to take him out for the season, I would presume. I had 2 labrum reconstructions, or whatever you call them, anchorings, over the course of my playing career in the NFL. It took about 6 to 8 months. Is that what he's looking at as a timeline to recover from this?
Yeah, his season is done, as you said. Apparently, he dislocated his shoulder on Saturday, his right dominant shoulder. And for basketball, unlike football, you probably played through the season with a harness and then had it fixed.
Yep.
Basketball, you just can't do that. You'd be surprised the number of NFL guys that play through. Stephon Gilmore re-dislocated his right shoulder that he had surgery on. He did that in Sunday's game, and he's slated to probably play against the Packers with a harness, and probably will get fixed in off season here. But for basketball, you can't be effective and play with a harness that restricts your motion, and so that's why surgery. And even if his team makes the playoffs, he won't be ready. But a reasonable chance to be ready at the start of next season. I hope he, obviously he's got a lot of rehab to do and a lot of free time on his hands now.
Hey, Doc, over to the NFL, the Steelers, TJ Watt, apparently a grade 2 MCL sprain. Is that done for the season?
Well, it depends on how long the Steelers season is. Right? If the Steelers season is one more game, he's done for the season. If the Steelers season can extend out to Las Vegas or a conference championship game, then I think he has a chance. I actually find it interesting, and I think you guys know this, especially Rich. When I first started doing this injury analysis by video, people were like, how do you know? You're on your couch, you're not examining it. And now we've got big boys, national reporters in game reporting specifics. So initially, they said grade 3 MCL on TJ Watt. We always said MCL when it happened. Never thought it was grade 3. No surgery. He will get better. But as an edge rusher, you got to get around the edge. You can't do that with a sprained MCL. So he's missing at least this week, probably next week, and then lucky if he can return for the conference championships. And I guess we can argue lucky if the Steelers can make it there.
Hey, Doc, we're having a little difficulties with connection today. We're having some technical difficulties on our end. So I'm going to ask you as briefly as you can to give us a quick update on Sam Laporta. For anybody listening on the app, they probably have an easier time hearing your voice. But with the Detroit Lions, he injures his knee in the final game of the regular season. What do you think? Is he going to be able to go in the super wild card round?
No, he's not, unfortunately. Look, the head coach initially said it's not as bad as it looks, but it's not good. And we said he injured his LCL and posterior lateral corner, which is not surgery, but it's multiple weeks. Dan Campbell yesterday said, there's an outside shot he could play. Look, there's an outside shot I could win the lottery. I'd have to buy a ticket first. But, the bottom line is keep hope alive rather than really being a realistic possibility. And it's just too bad. And don't blame Dan Campbell. As you know, there's 53 guys on the active roster. You have to activate play 46 of them. You can't rest everyone. Sam Laporta's a rookie. Unfortunate accident there for him. But do not think he'll be there. But also, if you go to Sports Injury Center, you'll see not only is it Sam Laporta pass catcher, Jameson Williams still has coming off his high ankle sprain. Khalif Raymond likely has a PCL sprain and will miss 2. So that's 3 pass catchers for Jared Goff. They still got Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's a big deal for Detroit. And if you also go to the website, you'll see Miami has 5 linebackers out. 5 of them. They have 5 linebackers out to the point that our friend Melvin Ingram will play a big role in the game against the Chiefs. He already has was signed by the Dolphins and played, and that's definitely an area of cluster injuries for this weekend.
You can follow him at Pro Football Doc on X. Also, all that information he was just talking about available at SICScore.com. That's SICScore.com. Dr. David Chao joins us every single week on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We thank him, and we'll do it again in a week. Thanks, Doc.
Apologize for the connection with the move up. I'm actually on the road here. No, I'm not driving, but I pulled over in the car, not in the office for this one, so I apologize.
No sweat, no apology needed. We'll do it in a week. It'll be a lot cleaner and crisper. All right, there he goes, Dr. David Chao. Great information there. So Laporta looks like a no-go. You have a ton of injuries at linebacker for Miami going to Arrowhead Stadium. That's an uphill climb for them both. I like the Rams already in Detroit. I'm really liking the Chiefs defending their home turf now against Miami.
Guys, I sent you a text on a couple days ago talking about how many weddings Kendall and I have coming up. We got 4 of them between March and July, which is just craziness. But for those weddings, I'm going to want to be looking good.
You already are.
Well, I wanted to look better.
Good. You want to look even better?
A little better because I got some high school friends getting married, so I want my high school body back. Well, in high school, I weighed like 215 pounds. So that's my goal right now. I'm sitting in the 230s. I have been since we started with SDFatLoss.com. It's crazy to think that this summer I weighed 278 pounds, but that's where I was, and this is where I am now. And I'm still looking to lose more, and I'm back in the throes of the reduction phase. And I got to be honest, getting out of bed this morning, I felt better than I had in the last couple of weeks. Even though I've still been eating better, it's different than when you are actually eating great, which is what they teach you at SDFatLoss.com. And it's a free consultation. You just talk to our friends Wayne and Chloe. They will hook you up. And tell them Big Rich, TD, and Fletch sent you, because SDFatLoss.com, they got the secret for quick weight loss and, most importantly, lasting weight loss. It's not those ads that you see on TV about those miracle drugs that you just give yourself a shot every day and you all of a sudden start losing weight. The issue with those is that once you stop taking those drugs, the weight will come right back to you and the trauma that comes along with it. So as soon as you're ready to go, get on over to SDFatLoss.com, get a free consultation. Wayne and Chloe will get you going on the reduction phase, and you can start losing up to 1.5 pounds of fat every single day. A lot of times for us, it was a lot more than 1 pound every single day.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm back in again. And it's fun getting on the scale every single morning and seeing where I am now. I'll keep you updated as soon as I get to the 220s. I got a feeling it's coming soon. So stay tuned to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Coming up next, we head out to Dallas, talking to Mac Engel from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram about these Dallas Cowboys as they get ready for the Green Bay Packers.
Coming up, our buddy Mac Angle out in Dallas joins us to talk about them boys.
This update presented by Progressive Insurance. Mac Angle coming up next to talk Cowboys. But going back to last night, Michigan won the College Football National Championship over Washington, 34-13 final score. College hoops, Aztecs back in the top 25, and they got San Jose State tonight on the road. Pregame gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8. And in the NBA, Clippers stay hot. They get a 138-111 win, and John Morant for the Grizzlies is going to miss the rest of the season after getting season-ending shoulder surgery. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Big Rich, Sheedy, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760, rolling quickly through a Tuesday here, and we have yet to give away those tickets to Def Leppard and Journey, so you're going to want to keep it locked in here, because in just a couple minutes, we're going to tell you how to win them. Def Leppard, Journey, Petco Park on August 30th. Tickets and info available at livenation.com, or just keep listening for your chance to win, because it's coming up in mere moments. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have had, I would say, a pretty nice season. I mean, come on. No, it was a 12-win season. They are a formidable team. They are a team that should do very well here. In fact, if you're looking at analytics, you're looking at the stats here, the betting lines. I mean, I would say Dallas and the 49ers are probably going to come down head-to-head if everything works out numbers-wise. Well, our buddy Mac Angle, how you doing, buddy? Joining us right now. He's a columnist for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. But how's your morning, man? There we go.
After watching Michigan cheat its way to a national title with the win over the Washington Huskies, where I got to meet the Husky mascot dog. That was the highlight. The game was kind of a drag, but meeting the dog was fantastic. So I'm doing well.
You got to meet the Husky?
I did.
Wow.
I did. And I know. And I was kind of a stalker. And when I say kind of a stalker, I was a stalker. And the handlers, two nice young girls, couldn't have been any nicer. The dog is so pretty and so well trained to behave. So I got a bunch of pictures. And yes, I'm a big dog person. I love dogs, and I love mascots. So yeah, I got to check that one off the bucket list. I was very excited about meeting that dog.
Hey Mac, good to have you back on the show. Actually, when we booked you, when I was texting with you yesterday, I had no idea you were going to be at the championship game. So it's great to have you on two fronts. We'll ask some questions about the Cowboys here in a little bit, but when we think about the national championship and we think about Michigan winning it all, especially the controversy of this season, and especially the controversy with the playoffs with Florida State getting snubbed. Did it feel at all live and in person like this was somehow tainted, or did you get wrapped in the celebration of football and college sports and all the things that go into moments like that?
I think both of it. I think it depends on where you live. If you live in Columbus, Ohio, then this is the dirtiest championship since the Houston Astros sign stealing scandal. But, you know, it is kind of a coincidence that the Wolverines won their championship, I don't know, 5 miles from where the Astros won theirs. So I think it I wrote about that. When I was on the field after the game, all the Michigan players and their families and the coaches and their loved ones are all celebrating and reveling in a 15-0 season. And none of them are thinking about an NCAA letter of, notice of allegations or a sign stealing scandal. In their minds, they're 15-0 and national champions. And outside of Ann Arbor and the Michigan community, which is considerable, then I think, you would see this as, no, it's a little dirty. It's a little tainted. This is kind of like, I don't know, maybe the UNLV Running Rebels championship won in men's basketball back in the, that was a little dirty. Yeah, you won. Now, I don't know. Do they vacate this? Who cares if they vacate a championship? They won the game. And in this day and age, I think there's just this level of acquired cynicism that exists towards big-time college sports, which is, you illegally recruited? Yeah, okay, well, I guess everybody's doing that. The sign stealing sting, that was a little over the top. But I think everybody's just kind of, I don't know, worn out by it. But yeah, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's a little dirty. They were the best team. There's no doubt. They were the best team. They went undefeated. They beat everybody. They beat Ohio State. They beat Alabama. They beat Washington. And if you're 15-0 in major college football, yeah, you're the best team. But is it dirty? Absolutely.
Mac, not the best team, but the second best team, the Dallas Cowboys, taking on the Packers this weekend. Any chance you feel like there could be a Packer upset here?
Yeah, I think if I had to put money on it, which thank God I don't bet on games, I'd be broke. But if I did, both teams are 7-3 in their last 10 games. And when I've watched Green Bay, I don't see a great team. I see a pretty good team. When I see Dallas, I see a really good team. I don't think they're as good as San Francisco, but I think Dallas is really good. I think they're better than Green Bay. Dallas has won 15 or 16 straight at home. I think they'll win on Sunday against Green Bay. I think it'll be closer, but I just think Dallas is better than Green Bay, even though there are serious flaws with the Cowboys. I think Dak is better than Jordan Love. And if this game was in Green Bay, and I'd put up a big red flag, but it's not. It's in Arlington, where the Cowboys have been a completely different team and a much better team, and that's why I think they'll win.
Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb has just been so outrageous at home. Mac, talk about the season that he's had. I think it's finally what Jerry Jones wanted to see when he gave him the number 88 was this CeeDee Lamb total dominance. Now, it's been mainly at Jerry's world, but that's not a problem you guys have to deal with until potentially the NFC Championship game. CeeDee Lamb this year, has it been as incredible as it's looked from the outside?
Oh, my God, yeah. And it's funny, when they drafted him, when he fell, because you remember, in that draft, he was supposed to be 10 to 13. And I think he was either 18 or 22. And I thought this is a terrible idea because the Cowboys already had 2 number 1 receivers. They had already spent all this capital on that position. And I'm like, when's this guy ever going to get the ball? Well, 3 or 4 years later, we know now they traded away Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup had, basically a career-altering injury. And CeeDee Lamb is the best offensive weapon that Dak Prescott has. Ezekiel Elliott's time is done. Tony Pollard, as a starter, kind of turned out to be what a lot of us kind of thought he would be, which is pretty good. Not bad, but pretty good. And their biggest weapon, both now running and throwing, is CeeDee Lamb. And I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit. They've been very creative in figuring out ways to get him the ball. And I think if you look at that top number one wide receiver group in the NFL, which would be Jefferson, Chase in Cincinnati, and a couple other guys, CeeDee Lamb is in that conversation. I don't know if there is a clear number one, but if you had to say, well, who's number one, and you would have the debate, and he'd be one of the top players in that conversation.
So you can't have CeeDee Lamb without Dak. And by the way, we're joined by Mac Angle, columnist, Fort Worth Star-Telegram, friend of the show here on Big Rich, TD and Fletch, and writer of a great column about the national championship game that we just all saw last night with Michigan. Hail to the cheaters is the title. And the line that I love the most is the NCAA, the violations against the team, nothing will come of them. The NCAA has become the Washington Generals of the court system, which is, I think, perfectly stated and completely true. But I digress on that. Go read the article, by the way. It's really phenomenally written. But I digress on that to talk about the Cowboys. One last question about Dak. So everybody is all hyped up on, like, for example, a Lamar Jackson heading into the postseason, who, by the way, has a worse playoff record than Dak Prescott. And in fact, and I know he was injured, and I may or may not be using air quotes, but he didn't show up for his team last year in the postseason. That's never happened with Dak. Dak's gone out there and he's had some stinkers. He's 2-4. I understand that records are attached to quarterbacks, fair or unfair. But I think it's been overstated how poor he's played in the postseason. I think there's been, obviously, with 22 other people, or should say 21 other people on the field, offensively and defensively, plus special teams, plus coaching decisions. It's not all Dak's fault with Dallas's postseason problems.
Oh, you're 100% right. And I've been to all of his playoff games, and the problem that he's had is that he has had killer stretches in that offense that have changed that game. So if you go back to his very first playoff game, was against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. The Cowboys are the home team, and Dak it's his rookie year, and he has a bad first half. And it put him behind the 8 ball. Now, the Cowboys eventually get back into the game, and they tie it late, and only because of an incredible throw and series of plays made by Aaron Rodgers did the Packers pull that game out. But, man, that first half, it set him back. If you go back, and then other stretches of the game, I can remember the divisional round game against the Super Bowl Rams team.
Yep.
Cowboys come out pretty good. The offense goes into hibernation mode, and then the defense is awful. They give up 5,000 yards rushing, and it didn't matter what they had, and they couldn't, because they just couldn't move the ball. And then the real killer was last year against San Francisco, or actually the last 2 games against San Francisco in the playoffs, the wild card game and then the divisional round game last season. He wasn't very good. His offense wasn't very good. And last year, in that divisional round loss in Santa Clara, he was terrible. He didn't get a lot of help from his receivers, Michael Gallup specifically, but I mean, Rich, he was bad.
Yeah, he was.
There was just around. He was really bad, and you don't want to pick on the guy. Be like, yeah, dude, you suck, and he did. And there's just no getting around it. So he waited, and I remember asking him after the game. He's like, "It sucks. I'm gonna have to wait a whole year for this," and he did. Now he's here. Here's his chance, and I think the Cowboys, they pretty much, if it holds to form, which it never does in the NFL, which is one of the reasons why we like it, because it changes. The Cowboys should win at home and then get to the playoff game in the conference finals against San Francisco in Santa Clara. There's his redemption shot. And there it is. I mean, it's funny you mentioned the Lamar Jackson thing. I didn't know that to that detail. And I think the narrative, because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys, And everybody likes to pick on the quarterback of the Cowboys. It's a double-edged sword. You make the more money, you get the more all that stuff. You get more notoriety and visibility, but it also comes with more scrutiny and criticism. Here you go. I think they beat. I think they're really good. I think they probably get to San Francisco and lose again. And they're really good. They just have some holes. And if you get to remember, Rich, this team hasn't been to a conference finals, a conference championship game since the 1995 season.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So yeah, I know that's insane,
Yeah.
right? I think they are 0-7 in the divisional round, which is the longest streak in the NFL team since the Chiefs. I looked this up. Since the Chiefs had it, that stretched over 20-some years. The divisional round 7 times, and they've lost every time since the 95 season. So I think they're going to get there again. I think this time they'll win it. I think they'll get to the conference and lose.
Wow. Yeah, Mac, listen, as always, we love having you on the show. You can follow him at Mac Engel, PROF on X. You can read all of his columns at star-telegram.com. And great podcaster as well. He's a jack of all trades, and he's a master at a few of them as well. Hey, Mac, thanks, buddy.
It's great talking to you guys. Thanks a lot.
There he goes. There he goes. Mac Engel there. Hey, before we get to bottom of the barrel, I want to really quick talk to you guys about my dentist. You've heard me talk about him before, Dr. Jordan Colby, over at Ocean View Dental. You can check them out at oceanviewdental.net. And I suggest you do. And here's why. So dentists, they're kind of an afterthought, right? You don't think about a dentist until you have a toothache. You don't think about a dentist until you need that teeth cleaning done. Maybe every once in a while you're flossing and you feel a little pain. You're like, ooh, geez, yeah. How long has it been? Well, I'm telling you, I want you to think about it today. I want you to think about if you actually like your dentist, if you actually enjoy the experience of going to the dentist's office. For a majority of you, you're going to say no. And I used to be that way too. I didn't like my dentist. I didn't like going to the office. I like going to Dr. Jordan Colby's office for a million different reasons. I'll highlight a couple of them. First and foremost, it's a dentist's office with a view. When you sit down in the chair, you can see the Pacific Ocean. It's a relaxing, serene setting. And the people there treat you like family. It almost feels like you're getting ready to sit on the couch and watch a game or go, take in some of the vibes at the beach rather than get your teeth worked on. But that's the feeling in the office. The second is, I had some major dental work that I needed done, and I was super, super nervous. I'm a big, tough football player, and I was really nervous about having this work done. I needed 3 implants. I needed a tooth taken out. It was an experience that I was told by other dentists would take me over a year and a half to accomplish. I got it done in 3 months over at Ocean View Dental. Again, oceanviewdental.net. It was incredible. Everything was done in his office, from the advanced imaging they do to the plan and procedure, to the implants and the extraction of the tooth that was bad. It was incredible. That's the word that keeps coming to mind. He's a careful practitioner of dental work, and he could be your dentist today by simply going to oceanviewdental.net. When you get over there, tell him that Rich sent you. Bottom of the barrel coming up next. A study that scrambles your brain. Bottom of the barrel coming up next. What a fun show today. Holy cow. We got to catch up with a bunch of our favorites, man. Stephanie Stradley was awesome on the Houston Texans, Mac Engel on the Dallas Cowboys, Eitan Shander out there in Philadelphia on those Eagles, who looks like they're destined for a first-round bounce, but we know the postseason in the NFL, anything can happen. If you missed any of those interviews, also Doc Dave Chow. David Chow joined us earlier as well. If you missed any of those interviews, that podcast is going to be up immediately following this show. And if you haven't yet downloaded the free iHeartRadio app, I suggest you do. There you can follow us. You can rate, review, subscribe, send a link to a friend. Best way to support our show. And also a great opportunity to start winning some of these tickets.
Yeah.
We got Journey and Def Leppard tickets coming up. Those are going to be for a show in August. The only place to win those tickets currently is right here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. And so we're going to give out a time so our app listeners can win those tickets here in just a minute. Want to do bottom of the barrel real quick. Apparently, love scrambles your brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is that shocking? They've just found out now in 2024 that when you fall in love, your brain gets scrambled?
Well, I don't really. I'm pulling it. Okay, so it says, while prior studies have established that romantic love has a connection to the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, within the brain. This new report documents how specific areas of the brain responsible for placing our sweethearts on a pedestal when we first fall in love. This was a joint collaboration, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to read through all these nerdy university things. It's thought that romantic love first emerged some 5 million years ago when we split from our ancestors.
Korg and Morg, baby.
The great apes. So you're telling me apes don't love to...
Getting down on rocks.
It says the Greeks philosophized about this.
Wow.
Yeah. Excellent.
Hey guys, poor British model Abby Clancy. She went to the doctor because she had some serious groin pain. She thought she had MS. So she asked the doctor to run a bunch of tests. Turns out her jeans were just too tight.
No.
Been there.
Right. Yeah.
So the doctor was like,
thanks to SDFatloss.com.
that's right. Maybe just get some stretchy pants.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, when I discovered that they make blue jeans that stretch with you,
Done.
dude.
857, by the way.
857, you're going to call 877-767-4760.
Or just dial 877-SORG-760. That's SORG-760. SORG spelled with an S. Ben, who do we think
And a
today?
W. You already went through the whole list, so we don't need to do it again. But go listen to them all on the free iHeartRadio app. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, TD. Texters, roadies, hangers, dangers, Bob. Blah,
Yeah.
blah.
913, by the way, thinks we should have a chocolate chip cookie baking contest, and I'm here for it.
That's happening tomorrow. Be listening for that. The herd is next.